everybody, and welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, a podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the true gamers. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. How's it going, bro?
It's going great. You nailed that. It's going good. It's going really good.
I've got the energy back. I have to say, even though everyone at home said everything was okay, and you... even though you're a bastard and you'll never tell me the truth, everyone said that I was completely fine on the last episode. I was still feeling just a hair under the weather from all the shit I had.
Yeah.
And I felt like that wasn't my perfect A game.
Yeah.
Today is different, however.
Right.
I've brought the energy back. In fact, too much. You guys are going to hate it, okay?
Yeah.
You happy about that?
Okay? Last time you were worse than Tyler. You were just an anchor around my neck. Now... you're like one of the pterodactyls pulling people off. You're going to drop me over that big pool to get munched by that one big dinosaur.
We just spoke about Jurassic Park World, and now suddenly all the references are covered out there. We're good. But how you doing, bro?
That was
perfect
a
time to ask you a question. Yeah,
with that perfect 1 second of just dead air, nothing. I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. What
are you playing at the minute?
Oh, gaming, right into it. I love your style. I've been playing more God of War. And
really?
Yeah, it's so strange. My favorite game in the world, right? But do you want to know something amazing? This game has gotten better for me.
I'm really glad you said that, because I was worried, because we were working yesterday or the day before, and you said in the car,
oh no!
No! Oh, why?
Okay, lift up your laptop. Okay, we've spilt a drink. There's gonna be an edit here. I'm sorry, guys.
Luckily, though,
it's not a lot, right?
It's a bit, but it didn't go on the sound stuff. It didn't go in anything. It's just on the table. But that's right. We're no longer in a toilet paper shortage, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. We can do that. But that was an interesting start to the show, wasn't it?
I don't know what you're talking about. That all got cut out, and no one will know seamlessly.
So,
God of War.
I've been playing God of War, and it's gotten better.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's a surprise to hear.
First time you're hearing that,
for the very first time that we've spoken about this.
So I've been playing God of War. The 4K PS5 patch came out and stuff like that, and I was expecting it to look nicer, but I was expecting it to be the same story and whatnot.
I'm seeing if it's sticky. It's fine. It's cool. We're good.
But. And I know this is going to sound cliche, because people probably say this, and a lot of the guys watching, they're not fathers and stuff like that.
Right.
But it feels different now that I'm a father.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was thinking, what can really have changed? But it's not the game that's changed.
It's me.
It's the mug playing it.
And I'm like, I love this game. I raved about it way before. You guys all know this. I said, I love this game. It's my favorite game. And then I played it, and there was these moments where I was just uncontrollably just starting to well up and stuff like that. And I was like, these are the same things, because maybe I'm the dickhead, but these are the same things I think about when I'm thinking about Isla, when I'm holding her. I'm like, am I going to be a good enough father for her?
How am I going to teach her to hunt with a magical bow and arrow?
Exactly those things there. But am I going to be there for her enough? Am I going to be able to teach her right from wrong? Am I going to be a good enough father? All the things that Kratos is thinking silently inside. And every time he almost puts his hand on Atreus and whatnot. And I was like, oh my God, this is all hitting so differently now. And it somehow made my favorite game even better.
I completely forgot that moment. There's that moment on the boat where he goes to touch Atreus but decides not to because he doesn't know what to do next.
And there's the first time that he actually touches him, but it's just like a moment where he sort of steps back and he just sort of holds him like that. Yeah. And then he sort of looks down at his hand, and I'm like, this is also meaningful. It was Batfan who asked me on Twitter, who's the first person to ask me, he's like, oh, by the way, is it any different now that you're a father? And I was like, funny you should mention that. I'm noticing all these things. But yeah, it's fucking incredible. I didn't think I would...
You could like it even more.
Yeah. Or even I thought maybe possibly, because it's a game that I've played already, and I do this sometimes where I'll jump in a game and I'm like, there's other things I can play at the moment, and I'll just dip out of it. Yeah. But I'm dedicated, one track on this.
I'm glad to hear
fantastic. That. Yeah. Have you been playing anything interesting?
I have, but I have a request.
Okay.
I would like for you to replay The Last of Us Remastered. Not 2, because it's 2. Last of Us 1's 8 hours, roughly speaking, right?
Yeah.
But not only are you a new father, but you now have a daughter.
I was going to say, it's almost like father-daughter thing, isn't it?
So I'm really, really curious to see how you feel about it.
That might be an interesting. I might have to do that.
I'm really curious to see how you like feel about that.
That's a really good point.
How dare you,
Siri? Look, we've had enough of your bullshit today.
I love how she just got our whole podcast in one text. She's like, "Who do you want me to send it to?"
There was like a whole wall of text there going. Anyway,
I swear to God, I will fire you.
Do you know what it is? It's behind the microphone.
I'll fire you. I'll replace you with one of the guys from the FPN.
One of those friggers.
The ice is thinning every step you take.
But what have you been playing, my friend?
I sentenced you to death by exile. What have I been playing? So I'm kind of playing Cyberpunk again.
Okay.
So I found it was really easy to put down. Like every time I've played it, I've really enjoyed it. But I did find that I would put it down and just didn't pick it up for a few days or a few weeks. I haven't finished the game yet. Whereas like The Last of Us 2, love it or hate it, and there's plenty of stuff I hate in it. I did that thing in like 2 or 3 days because in fact we did the 2. I was knackered when I did that, but there
was a little bit of pushing, but you was like on it though.
Oh yeah, I was doing it. Don't get me wrong, there was a time constraint, but I was playing it because I wanted to play it.
Yeah.
This I found really easy to put down and not come back to for a week. But every time I pick it up, I enjoy it. The bugs are bugging me still.
Yeah.
And I don't find myself like desperate to know what happens. I've just got to the spoiler alert. You're gonna fight Adam Smasher. It's like everybody knew this, right?
Wait,
so, yeah.
Spoilers.
So I've just got to that fight.
Okay.
So I presume I'm like this close to finishing the game. I'm not desperate to get home and finish and see what happens. But I am enjoying it. But I'm not desperate to get home and finish it. But I would be if it was Mass Effect. Like the Legendary Edition's coming in like a month and a half or something like that. And I'm looking forward to getting home and playing that now, right? So,
Cyberpunk's so unfortunate, isn't it?
It really is.
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of shit that they've done to themselves.
Yeah.
But we don't really care. Like as gamers, we know we don't care about the company behind it.
Yeah.
We care about what we get to play at the end of it. And obviously, the company has an effect on it. But we just want to. We're interested in that game, story.
The worst thing is there's so much potential in Cyberpunk, and there's so much in there that they just nailed. Like a lot of these characters, Panam is incredible. Johnny Silverhand is, I wouldn't say incredible. Like I think if you take Keanu out, the Johnny Silverhand you wouldn't like. I think Keanu carries that Johnny Silverhand.
He's got a charisma that he brings to it.
But the character of Johnny Silverhand in general could be incredible. I think the one we got, if it wasn't Keanu, you wouldn't really care so much. But Judy, not West. Who's the
River?
River. Yeah. I don't know why I called him West. River. Like, there's so many. Just
it's a 4-letter word. Done.
Right? Yeah, close enough. River has 5 letters, bruv.
Oh yeah, River does. Awkward.
R-I-V-R. We're straight into the R.
That's how they spell it in
it's
France.
Cyber. It's cyber.
Exactly. Yeah, that's saying it right.
I'm really enjoying the characters in it, and the story is cool. I don't know what it is. Like I'm hooked, but not enough. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I get that feeling because I haven't gone back to Cyberpunk in a while.
Yeah.
Granted, it was because we had that break for like Conversations Day and whatnot, and I sort of fell out of gaming in general.
You've been pretty busy.
Yeah, but I have gone back and played other games.
Yeah.
So why hasn't it been Cyberpunk?
It's very strange. It's very weird. I want to finish it, and I'm pretty sure, unless they do something weird or my save was in the wrong place, that I have saves before that I can just go and do the main mission and do my few options, because I want to see the different versions, but I'm not desperate to do that. Whereas if this was The Witcher, I would be in that, like, I had to finish The Witcher. I had to. God of War, I couldn't put that down. The Last of Us 2, I couldn't put it down. Ghost of Tsushima, I could not put it down. I had to beat.
Even with The Witcher, I was really, even though I streamed the DLC, I was always excited, looking forward to every Wednesday to do another stream so I could play more of The Witcher.
Yeah, it's kind of a chure in between because you're not allowed to play.
I'm like, what is this stupid side quest in between getting to my real thing?
Right.
Streaming The Witcher.
But that's something that really bugs me. So the DLC for The Witcher, like how good were those? How good was Heart of Stone? How good was Blood and Wine? Yeah. And then the flagship game of Cyberpunk doesn't seem to have it. And forget like the quality of the story, right? Because I think a lot of people vibe more naturally with fantasy.
Yeah,
it seems more escapist than like the sci-fi stuff a lot of the times.
Yeah,
but things like the side quests or like that DLC, never once, I'm sure it has happened like a few times, but like the glitches in The Witcher were relatively minor. Like I did a quest recently with Judy to take out or do something with Cloud's the place where they have the people under control. Yeah. And we went to speak to like the head of it, the madam or the lead pimp lady.
Yeah.
And like every time she moved, the NPC just floated. And it's like little things like that. Or I did a thing with Johnny Silverhand. So Johnny was walking V. Zon pulled out a couple glasses of whiskey, and they were already full of whiskey, and then poured a bottle, and the whiskey flowed in. Nothing happened. It just flowed. And then put it down, and we started drinking. And she went like this, and the cup was here and drank. You know, and it's just like, this is a main quest type thing. It's pretty major. I think it's the first time. I don't know if you do. I don't know if it is main quest, but you can let Johnny take Rogue out on a date.
Yeah,
I did that, and I'm like, this is a pretty big deal.
Yeah,
this is a pretty big deal. These are major characters. It just, I don't know it,
and it didn't have the same impact with all of those. Yeah. Those little bugs and stuff like that.
I will say, because a lot of people are probably wondering why I haven't played God of War, that I have a reason for not playing God of War, which is it's not fully PS5 upgraded.
Yeah, they've done the best they can for the patch or whatever to like unlock the frame rate and then turn up the resolution.
You said something.
But it's not Dualsense. It's not 3D audio, stuff like that.
You said, I want, when I throw the Leviathan axe, for the DS5 to jump out of my hand, right? To fly out of my hand. Yeah. I want there to be complaints of people breaking windows from this. That's something like what you said.
Yeah.
And that's the way I want to replay God of War. Because to me, the game's already gorgeous, right? I'm sure it is prettier, but I don't have like your amazing LCD screen. What is it called?
OLED.
OLED screen, yeah.
I'm playing it downstairs because
you have to. Yeah, of course you do. So like, for me, the upgrade in textures isn't going to be massive because I haven't got the sickest TV.
Yeah.
The frame rates are great, but it's already a good game. I'm already in love with the game.
Yeah.
So I want that full thing. I want to play it with the 3D. We are calling it 3D audio.
3D audio, yeah.
3D audio. I want to play it with the haptic DualSense feedback.
Do you know what you could do? A way that would make the game so much better is if you go and have a baby with your girlfriend and then play the game, and it will take on a whole new meaning. I recommend it.
Do I have to kill her so that me and the kid are...
Yeah, to get the full experience, kill your girlfriend, and then you have you have to burn her, obviously, burn her body and whatnot.
To get rid of the evidence.
Exactly, get rid of the evidence, and then you have to carry her ashes to the highest peak in all of the realms.
Well, all of like the UK, so like Snowdon or whatever it is.
Exactly, and then that's what I recommend you do.
Where am I going to find that hobo's head? We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out, guys.
I'll Twitch stream the whole lot.
Exactly. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us. We do have some special people to thank.
That's right. We're only half an hour in, but this podcast is powered by the incredible guys over on patreon.com/conversations. Who do we have to thank?
We have Diogo Dildo, Isak the Ultimate Cumsock, Carol of Rivia, aka Catsper the Friendly Patron, Record Friction, Dan the Man, Jeremy Renner, that's right, an official Avenger, Martin Scorsese's Master, H-Bars12, the Midget Alo from Smallville, Sabine, the former freeloader Christian, Master Chief himself, Albiscori, Super Sus Ben Fry, and the Star Wars Encyclopedia himself, Adam Sunling. Thank you so much, guys, for keeping the lights and mics on and the gaming going here at Conversation. That's right, guys.
Maybe because there's already one giant edit in this, which they won't know. Yeah. We'll chop that list and put it in the front.
We could, if it makes some sense. I'll see what it looks like in the edit. You may get this afterwards.
I mean, we're not exactly known for high quality.
Yeah, so, true. That is that true.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah, frick these guys.
I mean, to be honest, I feel like we make up for it with the amount of entertainment we do. We have how many? 18 podcasts now.
That's right. Yeah, 18,
we give them quantity.
Yeah, that's right.
So we can't really, we don't.
Plus, our Burnley fans is lit.
Oh,
it's so
the feet pictures. They're great. Do you know what? My girl actually asked me the other day. She goes to be genuine. It's like, what is it with feet? And I tried to
explain the vajankle.
I mean,
We got to stop talking about this. We got an entire channel just blacklisted because of this stuff, and we bring it up on the channel we made that wouldn't be blacklisted.
Guys, I tell you what, let's make a whole new channel so we can get away from all that stuff. And now let's talk about it. Guys, this is the True Gamer Podcast, coming to your eyes and ears every Saturday on youtube.com/conversation.
Shit, we starting over?
No. Look, this is my one thing I like to do. Let me add it in here. Or youtube.com/conversations and podcast services around the world where we get to talk about gaming and all that kind of good stuff. If you like what we see, if you like what we do here, I should say, you can go the extra mile and you can head over to patreon.com/conversations where you guys can help keep the lights and mics on and all the gaming going. You get exclusive access to a podcast, the Conversation Podcast, the one we were just talking about that is filled with all kinds of nastiness. And you get early access yesterday to this podcast. If you're watching this live on YouTube right now. If you're
watching it.
It's yesterday.
But you had access to it yesterday.
Yes. You can go back in time and you can get it. I love how
there is no time loop to possibly confuse us, but somehow we managed it.
We made it. We made it happen.
We couldn't say you get access to this a day earlier than it goes up on YouTube. No.
For the month of January and February, we are raising money for the future of Conversations right here. We're basically at the end of that right now. We've got £100 left to get to the end where we get a brand new
in January.
We did a brand new camera.
That's right.
And if you go over there and you do choose to support us at the $15 Super Bro tier, you could get one of these official True Gamer t-shirts, which comes with your...
They definitely can't see it, but you get your gamer tag or a message of your choice on the back.
Exactly, and you'll be an official True Gamer. It's actually super awesome.
They're pretty cool, and a lot of people have got them, and every single one of them has either DM'd me, messaged me on Twitter, or tweeted it, saying, like, this thing is sick, I love it, it's so cool, I'm wearing it to my Discord lessons, not Discord, Zoom calls and stuff, yeah.
And Diogo's given his one to his sister.
Given,
yeah. He didn't get a choice in that. But if you guys can't do that, if you guys don't want to do that, that's fine. We love you regardless. This is all just great fun. Sheps doesn't. We love you regardless. He's the suit of Conversations. Of course, not gonna. We appreciate you all the same, and just liking the video and commenting and being here and saying what's up is all appreciated. We love you guys.
It's true.
Bro.
Yeah.
This is the True Gamer Podcast.
It is.
We do have another special group of people.
We do. Thank. Special, think like window licking, not like important. The cyberbullies.
Yes.
Over on patreon.com/conversations who came to us and kicked us in the shins, like little like kick. You fall over, you're like, oh God, that hurts. And said, if you don't make a podcast funded exclusively by us at the $5 the True Gamer tier and above, that we will cyberbully you more. They
cyberbullied us into this, and to be honest, I'm scared of them. I'm gonna go before a judge, and I'm just gonna say these people are.
I think they're combrophobic.
That's what they are.
That's it.
Combrophobic. That's what
right.
you are.
They're bullying us. They're sending us threats, all kinds of threats, death threats. Life threats.
If you don't do this, you're gonna live.
I know. Like, mate, look, don't get me wrong, the graphics are great, but I'm looking forward to just finishing this main quest.
Somebody end
when I finally get to it.
Someone pull the plug. Right. Those people are Jeremy Horde, Sab2557, Record Friction, Real Kermit Cinema, Diogo. The Weekly Planet is objectively the best podcast on the internet. How dare you say that to us? Dan, Cats Bacoral, Isak Manny, Doc Nutella, Super Whale Ben, Albiscori, Poopy, de Scoopy, Scoop, de Poop, Whoop Whoop, de Scoop, de Poop, Hooded Dude, Benedict Clobbers, Batfan527, Christian0210, Max H, Fishy, Oscar Morgan, Cobra SS, and Jack Nicholas. Thank you, bros, so much for giving the lights and mics on. You true gamers out there.
That's right.
You legends. Thank you so much for that. Guys, today.
Yeah.
Our topics, there's quite a lot of stuff going on. As I said on
topic one, we're good.
I said on Twitter, I was like, every time we do put the podcast, I try and narrow it down. I try and get rid of the fluff.
Yeah.
And then it ends up that there's 40 million things to talk about. So in this episode, we'll be talking about things like Miranda's arse in Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
You joke, I'm genuinely salty.
There we go. We're going to talk a little bit about that. I was hoping for that.
And not for simping reasons. I'm genuinely salty.
we know Sheps is a simp, but not a simp of Miranda's arse this time.
No, it's Monica Dambo that I
exactly
simp.
Monica Dambo right there. The number one feature of Assassin's Creed games, microtransactions, GTA 5, CDPR's hack, and E3 possibly returning in an all-digital event for 2021, and that is the topic of the show. Our topic starts off with a question.
The answer is no.
The answer
this is a bad idea.
Batfan527 writes in and goes, "Hi Sheps and Eddie. Do you think the recent announcement of E3 going digital will cause E3 and other lesser known popular gaming events to go all digital as well? And also, my personal question, what do you feel about E3 going all digital in the first place?" I think if E3 does go, the other ones will kind of follow suit. But the other ones don't have the gravitas of E3.
I think the little ones, their chance to shine was the Summer Games Fest, which would have been the proof of concept that this thing could still go on.
Yes.
For us, who haven't been able to make it to E3 before, because the fine people over at Patreon.com/conversations don't pay enough.
They don't care about us
It's
enough.
true. They don't love us or gaming it. No, but for real, we've never been able to go to E3, right?
Yeah.
So anytime we watch it, we watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So to us, it won't make a difference.
Yeah.
But we do go to EGX, which I think EGX is the biggest European games con, isn't it? It's definitely the one biggest in the UK.
Biggest in the UK. I think Gamescom's bigger than EGX, which is in Germany. So,
yeah, it might be.
So yeah, it's up there.
But it's pretty huge.
Yeah.
It's pretty huge. And we've gone to 5 of those.
Yeah.
Is that right? We've gone to a good few, a handful at least. And I definitely think that some of this stuff will help change the way they do these things, like doing the digital demos, which some people have been saying they should have been doing since 2018, 2017. We've been saying they should say, here's a digital code, everybody go and play the demo.
Just the way that
Look under your chairs.
Resident Evil did, where they just went, there's the demo right now, go and download it. How great was that?
That is,
everyone was talking about it.
And we've been talking about that they should do that for years, right? So I hope that that's going to be one of the changes.
I hope so too. There was a little blurb that I got from, I think it was somebody, a VG. I'm not exactly sure who it was. Anyway.
Okay.
Just stealing words here. According to E3 2021's pitch document sent over to game publishers, seen by VGC, that's who it is.
Okay.
The ESA has now outlined proposals for this year's event, which could see 3 days of live stream coverage held during the previously announced dates of the 15th of June to the 17th of June.
Yeah.
It will hold multiple 2-hour keynote sessions from game partners, an award show on the 14th of June, and previews on all the other nights from smaller streams and other publishers and influencers and media partners, etc. That sounds cool.
It sounds good.
Yes, especially because the difference, we said as well, after Summer Games Fest happened, we miss E3 after Summer Games Fest.
We do miss E3.
Because Summer Games Fest, while we first thought, it's thank God we're getting rid of E3. It's so outdated and antiquated. Let's move on to something better. And then Jeff Keighley, granted he didn't have a lot of experience, it was just a bunch of people with their shitty webcams that we've got here or something like that anyone can do, and crappy $1 microphones. And it wasn't cool. It wasn't high production.
CEO of Epic somehow.
That motherfucker.
You're a billionaire,
The
mate.
guy's a billionaire, and in the back he's just got a potted plant sitting on the floor.
That's it, yeah. I kind of respect it, I'm not going to lie, but that's besides the point.
He's like, I've got billions of dollars. I just sit in an armchair, watch TV.
The thing is, and this is something that I only considered after we had Summer Games Fest.
Yeah.
One of the things that little developers go to these big conventions for is they benefit from bleed over.
Yeah.
They benefit to the guys that don't want to queue for 3 hours, that are going to wait and see if the queue goes down for Final Fantasy VII Remake. That was at the last EGX we went to, wasn't it? Yeah. It's also here wanted to play, wasn't it?
So here's hey, I'm going to go to EGX. Well, hey, games, what games do you want to play? Let's go join. I'm only here for Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
So what about any good games? No, fuck with it.
But so, we went and saw, we like to go to little dev stalls.
Yeah.
We saw a bunch of cool stuff from little Chinese developers, so fully government funded, I guess, probably. There was a really cool Battle Royale in space. That was really good, wasn't
was it Boundary or something
Boundary,
it was called? That was so great. It looked beautiful as well. There was that Snow project we saw as well. Like 3 guys working on it. Very, very, and that's the effect of these big trade shows where you can have those smaller guys and they get exposure that they probably never would have got.
They got thousands of bleed over eyeballs, right? And a lot of them were very interested, and you don't get that when it's the streaming events because people just switch over to, if it's on Twitch, let's say, they switch over to Ninja playing Fortnite or whatever he's playing at the minute for 20 minutes until the tab that they're listening to says, and now we go into that game you're interested in, right? So they get completely overlooked, or they just never get the screen time.
It's too easy to click away from it, really.
Absolutely. Plus, there is something to be said. I know everybody makes the joke about like gamers being virgins and socially awkward and stuff, but the reality is those people are only audio listeners.
Yes, exactly.
And gamers are like pussy slaying monsters.
Oh, all the time. That's why we have Pussy Slayer 69 in our names.
Exactly.
So it's our gamer tag.
Exactly. Cervix Pounder 420. That kind of thing, right?
There you go, right there.
And there is something to be said for like actually meeting up with people and going and doing stuff, or meeting up with those content creators that you like or something, right? And getting taken up to Nando's, that kind of thing. That also, I would like to go to one of these things and go to the after parties for this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We get close to that stuff. We went to that big COD event.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we did.
So like we were bigger back in the day.
We met Michael Rooker that day.
Yeah, we did. He was cool.
He was really a cool guy.
And who was that other guy? There was that gamer.
Hastro.
Yeah, we met Hastro. We met Michael Rooker. Michael Rooker was jokes. He was good fun.
Good guy. Back then, it was before Guardians of the Galaxy. We were like, oh, it's that Walking Dead guy.
It's the Walking Dead guy, right? And now we got to meet Mary Poppins.
Exactly. Now we got to meet Mary Poppins.
That's the best thing in that whole movie. Besides the point.
Yeah.
Meeting up with people, meeting like cool actors, the people behind the characters, the devs, actually getting hands-on with the game. Even though downloading the demo is functionally the same, it's more fun to play in. We played Doom.
It's an atmosphere thing. It's like when you go to a concert versus listening to it on a CD.
Yes.
I say CD nowadays. I'm sounding so old here. No, when you listen to like an MP3 or whatever.
Record.
Exactly, on Spotify. It's an atmosphere thing. Being in a trade show with your gamers, get that controller out.
That was our first experience of Doom Eternal. We played the demo level there, right? With, the booth was set up, everything looked cool. I really deeply regretted not getting the helmet. Yeah. Because it was on display, and I regret that. Oh, yeah, that reminds me of the N7 helmet.
Yeah, you need to buy that before you regret that one as well.
I might have to do that. Yeah. And you have to look at my funds.
Do you know what? I have 2 points about this that is either going to be... one's good and one's bad. I'm going to go for the bad one first of all. Apparently, the ESA... because they don't do this for free. They charge those vendors to give off, to come to E3 and stuff like that. Apparently, they are still charging the same fee. It's like $600,000 or whatever for like big partners to come and show off whatever games they've got at their stage. And even though it's virtual now. So they're not putting up a massive convention center in San Diego or wherever it is in Los Angeles. But they're still charging that massive fee, which... after a year of doing it themselves and seeing the paycheck being $100,000, why would someone pay 6 times more for that?
I bet it's not even 100,000.
Exactly. So there's a possibility that they've priced themselves out. They've done something stupid here.
If someone told us, this is like the Superbowl ad, right? Yeah. If someone said to us, we need to fill a minute with an advert, and you can choose, so for like your YouTube channel, and it's going up on the digital E3 service. Yeah. Do you or do you not think we could come up with a blue room, a set, a stage?
For a hair under.
First of all, probably with everything we've got. We'll buy some blue paint and paint a whole room and then paint it back white. You telling me we wouldn't do that? Yeah. Really, for real? If we needed set, like if we actually needed to, are you willing to spend £1,000 each? Yes, I am. If we got all of those eyeballs, if we knew they were going to watch our ad on E3.
On E3. Fuck yeah.
From a business perspective.
It's like, are you a true gamer? Then join the True Gamer podcast.
Right. Exactly. And then probably all the outtakes. That would just be it. I'd just us fricking up.
Have you seen the Vajankle? Have you seen
the Vajankle? And then you knock your relentless over. Yeah.
They're like, hold on a second, what's this got to do with gaming? Yeah.
But
we could come up with it for a fraction of the cost.
I mean, I reckon we could probably do it with everything we already have.
Yeah.
Like, and if you're a business, you can say, like, guys, we're trying to do this cheap as possible. Bring some stuff in from home. Or, realistically, if we were a really big business, 20 grand?
Yeah.
20?
And a lot of these
including
places,
renting a space.
And a lot of these places have a whole production studio anyway. They have all this
they're
stuff.
production shops. They're dev houses. Yeah.
So they could easily get this done for way cheaper. And that's what I think one of the problems might be. The good side to this, and this is one of the big problems of Summer Games Fest, is we never knew what the hell was going on.
True.
Everything was like, is there something happening next week?
Yeah.
I don't know. We just have to wait and see. And then 2 days before, Jeff Keighley will be like, so there's something maybe coming from EA. Go and check it out. And then we get there and it turns out it's a game that nobody cares about, and then we go over here. And then next week it's like, the day before we got another thing.
Yeah.
That was really frustrating.
Although we were all in lockdown, so we all had the time.
It's true. Yeah. But still, it was sort of like, and also there was that ambiguous time scale. It was like, so from the beginning of May all the way down to September. Yeah. And it was like, so anything can happen, and they were far too spaced apart and whatnot. With this, it's like 3 days, 2-hour demos. There's going to be 4 of them on the first day, 3 of them on the next day, 2 on the next day. You're going to expect this from Sony, this from Microsoft. That, I think, is a very big power play. Now, does that matter to Sony? Does that matter to Microsoft? Yeah. Does that matter to EA? I don't know.
I think that's the thing. Half the names you said, I think Microsoft need it. I think EA need it. Sony, no. Nintendo, no.
No.
Right? Like,
Nintendo really haven't been doing shit with them anyway. They've been doing their own shit.
They don't need to. I think Nintendo proved it, by the way. Yeah. And I said this when they were doing it. I think this would prove that, especially like Nintendo, Sony, at least those two, they can get away with just doing it themselves. They don't need to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I will say, with Summer Games Fest, that was the very first one, and it was Jeff Keighley basically himself putting it on, throwing his reputation out there, saying like, I'm putting this thing on, will you talk to me about this thing, get something ready for the show, whatever. And we saw some incredible stuff on there, like the Unreal 5 engine thing.
That was a baller move.
That was sick.
Yeah.
If Jeff Keighley, if that was like a test run, and now he's like, okay, I know what the model is. These people I can show people the numbers that we pulled for each of these streams, and I can tell these devs, like, I want to, or companies, everybody, I want to put this in this 1 week window. Everybody's going to get these kind of slots. And also he knows the monetization model now, which, although he's done some streaming stuff before,
he was at
E3, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Right. He's not putting on E3, he's at E3, and there's a difference. And now he knows, I can tell people these are the numbers we pulled last time. These numbers E3 pulls. This is the monetization that we can get from it. This is the monetization I can get from it, and therefore spend up front to get sets, actors, hosts.
I think that's the good point, because I think on the first, I bet you the first time this was done, because it was an unproven product, none of these guys wanted to relinquish any control. No. And they were just sort of like, we want to put our show on this day, make sure there's nothing around it because we want all the spotlight. Right. And then it ended up all of them being so far apart. And Jeff probably had no choice in a lot of things. Yeah. And then it just looked like crap. Yeah. Maybe this year he can go, look, last year we did everything you wanted to do. And look at how it turned out. I've got a vision. I've got a plan. Let me do it for you.
The attention is for this 1 week. You're going to fit in. These are the best slots. What you're willing to do. What you're going to show. What you're going to pay. And also, look, the pay to be on Summer Games Fest, if it's going to Jeff Keighley instead of
ESA.
Right. Can be significantly lower, but proportionately to Jeff and the people putting it on, way higher.
Yeah,
right. They get much more. The companies spend much less, get the same attention. Like, it could be a good move. It will depend on how E3 does it, though. Right? I think upfront spending the best part of $500,000 isn't a good sign. It sounds like Suits making decisions with Suits in a back room of only Suits, which isn't likely to represent a very good product on its own in the digital space of like being both entertaining, informative, showing the people what the people want to see. And my evidence for that is all the Microsoft events, which is not to say that they are bad, but then you see a good one, right? It's not that they are bad, but then the Sony event comes out and it's so much better.
I was going to say, for the longest time, the story was, who did it better, Sony or Microsoft? And after a point, it just stopped being that because it was getting to be kind of boring. It was like, okay, Sony did it better every time, we get it.
Yeah.
And it's always painfully apparent when you see them side by side.
Right, and this is not a Sony pony, Sony's better, right? It's that Microsoft do a lot of things really well, but they miss the point on a lot of stuff. Like the difference between Game Pass and the PlayStation Plus collection. Game Pass is very cheap, and
a lot of games.
You get a huge library. Yeah. But nothing in there is particularly high quality. Nothing in there that almost every single game on there you forgot to buy or were going to get when it was cheaper, right? Yeah. Just about every single game on the PS Plus collection, which is much smaller, is an absolute banger. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
So that's the kind of the difference in their approach on a lot of these things.
Yeah.
I just hope that E3. I want E3 to be good. I want to get back to normal. Is what I want to do.
Yeah, that's what everybody really wants, right? Just to get back to normal. I'm going to kick it over to some of our guys in the Discord server who wrote in a little bit, and I'm just going to read a few comments off here. Super Dan wrote in and he said. And Digital E3 sounds similar to Summer Games Fest to take me, so I think it'll be shit, he thinks. Which is possible. It's very possible.
Definitely maybe.
It's more condensed, so maybe it'll be a bit more interesting.
Yeah, I think that's a big winning strategy.
Yeah. Juice Sauce says, I usually like E3, so I hope there's going to be good stuff there. I don't think that the fact that it's going to be digital will take much away from it. So
a lot of us, and especially on our Discord, we didn't go to E3. Yeah, we didn't go to E3. A lot of the guys, like E6 in Iceland, I want to say.
Yes.
Didn't go to E3, right? Like a lot of these guys don't go to these things, so we all end up watching them digitally.
You said we're singled out right there.
That's right.
I can't believe it.
Come suck. If anybody's new, they'll be like, wow, that is the weirdest insult.
I want someone, because there was a perfect pause you had before. There was someone just to clip that bit out where it's just like, come suck.
That's going to make a great command on the Discord. Which, if you're new around here, we actually run and own the best Discord on the internet. The coolest place to just hang out and chill and talk about like all things entertainment, really, movies, shows, anime, gaming. If you're into like punishing yourself, there is a Smallville simp chat.
Hey, yo.
We were actually
I don't have any objection, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. So that Discord is honestly like the coolest. I'm sorry, by the way, when you join, they will, if none of the mods are around, pummel you with just atrocious
all kinds of gifts.
It's all about weeding out the weak, and I refuse to stop anyone doing it. I kind of respect it. We get much worse.
We do.
Much worse. But be aware.
Speaking of amazing Discord, we have one more guy here who wrote in, actually a couple people, the Nunfucker Ben, who wrote in saying, personally, I don't care for E3 because last year's Summer Game Fest was objectively better than all the E3s previously combined.
Ben is famous for his good takes.
Famous for his good takes right there. The Nunfucker Ben, we love you so much. D says, I'm not against digital E3 unless they only show 5-minute trailers and then discuss it for like an hour. So that's another thing that they did at Summer Games Fest. They showed a 5-minute trailer and then let's kick it over to Tom's. Is it Sweeney Todd?
Tom. Yeah, I know the guy you mean.
One of them is the cutting of the hair, the barber guy.
Sweeney Todd.
Yeah. So Todd Sweeney.
I think that's right.
Todd Sweeney. Let's kick over to Todd Sweeney where he talks for an hour and 45 minutes.
No. Let's kick it over to the dev team that made whatever the thing was. Here's a 10-minute montage of them visiting Greenland.
Oh my God.
Or like South Africa, wherever it was, for like artwork. You know?
Let's go to the meeting room. It's like, guys, we're going to show something off at this Summer Games Fest. Like, gamers want to see games. What do they want to see? What should we show them? Our trip to Iceland.
Yeah. I have a drone, so we can do some cool panning shots.
What?
The frick?
Anyway, Hood writes in and he says, I like the in-person interviews and demos that the IGN used to do back at E3. Yeah. Lots of interesting games were shown at that way. That's the thing. That's one thing that you get from being there is because they can send their reporters in there and you can find these either smaller games or games that maybe require just a bit more information rather than just a trailer. Also, those are really cool, and I don't want them to get lost. But Summer Games Fest was so bad, so he says,
back in the day, like maybe 5 to 10 years ago, when people go into these conventions, the articles that would come. Do you remember when you used to buy gaming magazines?
Yes.
The articles that would come out, and like there actually were people in there that were like, when I spoke to the developers, they said, and you got little snippets and nuggets of gold from what they actually spoke to developers about, right? Developers aren't always the most social people, and they will be even less social on Zoom calls because they'll be able to like very easily avoid any personal anything, right? Yeah. And sometimes you have to bully these people for answers. Yeah, we've spoken to devs. Right? Don't get me wrong. Like the guys that made Snow, they were super sociable dudes, right? I think we follow them on Twitter, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
But we should hit those guys up.
Should, yeah.
But there were plenty of other devs that were like, you have to really work.
You can tell their forte is making games. Yeah, they don't do interviews.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's just one of those things. I think if you give them any out, or also because I get the distinct impression that a lot of these guys will have multiple tabs open on a Zoom call, or may actually still be coding their game because that's what they're like, you know.
Tech Issues Incarnate wrote, and it goes on the E3 topic. Don't care, Altair. It will be infinitely better than Summer Games Fest because that was pure garbage. But it's still not something I love fully. The Sony plus Microsoft panels are good. The rest are just. That's the emoji he did. And Gamerlord, I should say, he wrote in saying, "I'm happy E3 is back after the garbage of an event that Summer Games Fest was. So it will do better than that crap. So hoping for some real cool announcements this year since we're fully into the next gen now. Yes, I hope so too."
Do you know what we should do?
Go ahead.
If E3 is going to be the Summer Games competition, which is to say they're going to just smash them, we should reach out to Jeff Keighley and offer to help reorganize Summer Games Fest to compete with E3 because he'll be on the back foot now. Boys,
Jeff, you're listening, we know. You hit us up, we'll help you out with Summer Game Fest. We'll make it what it should have been.
We'll compete with E3
from gamers for the gamers. Two gamers for you, the true gamers. That's what our slogan is. We can help you out here.
That's what we do.
Just hit us up.
Clip that, send it to him. Probably include that bit of us fucking up at the beginning. Oh god! Jeez, our tech! Oh my god, it's covered in energy drinks. Anyway, Jeff, as we were saying, we're professionals.
Anyway, do you have any final thoughts on the whole E3 situation? Are you at least excited to see what's going to happen?
I kind of am, but I don't want to be. I miss E3 now, having seen what the alternative was. Assuming Summer Games Fest keeps going like that. If they do it again and it's different, like what we said, then maybe not. But what I really miss is EGX.
Yeah.
And then putting all of that on E3, right? Because every time we would see E3, it'd be rainy and grey here, and it's sunny LA, and all the guys are there, and everybody that you know is there, and it's famous, and it looks like a good time, and all that stuff.
It was always cool because I obviously, like, back then, especially at the beginning of E3, before we used to do conversations, I always used to follow that stuff because my favorite influencers were always there. And I'd be like, I want to see what they did at this thing, and I also want to see the game's coverage and stuff like that.
And you're following them on Instagram, so you see the after party.
And
they're hanging out with someone famous. And...
So, oh my god, who is that? Is that Christopher Judge? No, oh my god, that's so cool. Oh my god. But we just haven't had that, and it feels like a part of my life is missing.
I agree.
Don't worry, guys. One day we'll be your influencers that you follow on Instagram and whatnot. And
I think they do follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. And don't worry, I'll go to E3 for you, okay?
Yeah, only for you. It's kind of a chore, but we'll do it.
We'll do it for you.
Moving on.
Exactly. By the way, it's copyrighted. I'm going to sue you. Our next topic, CDPR. Have been hacked. Sorry, they have been epically pwned. That's what they have been right
That
there.
actually leads me to suspect, because I hope you'll tell people if they don't know, but I don't think many hackers really talk like that anymore.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't, this whole thing is weird. So what happened basically, let me summarize this. Apparently, CDPR have been fallen victim to a cyber attack. Their internal systems were apparently compromised by an unknown person posing as an actor who managed to gain access to their systems and gained all the copies of their source code for Gwent, Witcher, Cyberpunk, all that sort of stuff.
And some unreleased stuff.
Unreleased stuff, and also some financials and things like that. And then they left the ransom note. A lot of financials. And they left this ransom note, and I'll read this out for you right here. It says, hello CDPR, and it's actually like a notepad. It's quite funny. It's like, I imagine it just being like a blank desktop and then just a note in the middle like that. It goes, hello CDPR, you have been epically pwned! ! We have dumped full copies of your source code from your... I need to make this bigger because it's really small at the moment. There we go. We have dumped full copies of your source codes from your Perforce server. Don't know if that's specific server. For Cyberpunk 2077, Witcher 3, Gwent, and the unreleased version of The Witcher 3. I guess that's the PS5 version of Series X. We also have dumped all of your documents relating to accounting, administration, legal, HR, investors relations, and more! Also, we have encrypted all of your servers, but we understand that you will most likely recover from backups. If we do not come to an agreement, your source codes will be sold or leaked online, and your documents will be sent to our contacts in gaming journalism. Your public image will go down the shitter. Strange. Are these people British?
They might be.
Shitter even more, and people will see how shitty your company functions. Investors will lose trust in your company, and the stock will dive even lower. You have 48 hours to contact us.
I just realised something.
Go on.
All of those HR documents, well, that's exactly where anything, say, if you were Ubisoft, would be stored. There could be a lot going on. I'm not saying there is, but if there were, those are all the documents that you would need. Or all the documents showing they were hiding something that... Right, that's all the really important stuff is not the game code, it's those documents.
See, this is the thing. They came out with this quite soon after it happened, because the people responsible for this, I've seen posts of it other places. They haven't released anything, but they also people have been saying that they will release the stuff if they don't do anything. So I feel like it was within that 48-hour window. Okay. I guess they feel confident enough that there's nothing too incriminating on that stuff. But everything can be taken out of context. Yeah, and everything can be turned and misread. Jason Schreier will turn this shit on you, bruv, and turn it.
We have our own no context Twitters that are about us, and they're dodgy.
So incriminating right there.
I think you're right.
What do you think about all of this going on?
I think you're right. They probably think that, at least on paper, there's nothing that bad in it. This, ironically, is the first time they've done anything right, which is you get out ahead of something saying, we've been hacked and we're not giving in because frick these guys, right? That's the best way to do that.
We do not negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you don't admit to being hacked, but they have been, and that's the way to do it, right? So hopefully there's nothing too bad, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
I would be worried if it was me.
I would still, as me, I'm still super interested to see if anything gets released.
Yeah, so they've released one thing already.
Okay.
It's the source code for Gwent.
Don't care.
That's the thing.
Gwent's an incredible game that was buried in an incredible RPG.
The only thing,
Gwent's great.
The only thing that really is bad about that is that they spent a lot of money. They spent a lot of time in development to create the source code that's completely unique to theirs.
No one wants to play free Gwent. Everybody wants to play Gwent.
No, I mean they spent a lot of money in making the engine and everything that goes into it, and it's their thing, and that's something that you protect. And then someone's taken and put it out on the internet, so now it's everywhere, and that's unfortunate. Yeah, but that's not damaging.
No, not really.
Exactly. So that's the only thing that would really
in a legit marketplace.
Exactly. So that's unfortunate. That's really shit, and it would be shit as well when it happens to Cyberpunk, their latest game.
The only thing that matters is anything in Cyberpunk. Like if it turns out Cyberpunk, one of the reasons it runs so garbage is because there's actually like a whole other game in it that they just haven't given us, or they scrapped but left it as like grayed out code that isn't running but it's still there. Like that's going to be the issue. Or if there's anything where there's like a ton of HR complaints, it turns out the crunch really was real, or potentially, because there was that Reddit post from somebody supposedly who was a CDPR dev who's complaining about the stuff that they had made and had been cut. If there are actual HR complaints saying we spent 7 months designing this feature, we've promised people that this feature is going to be in the game and you've taken it out for this silly reason, or we've complained about this higher up making these decisions, you're doing them anyway, and I'm resigning because I don't feel that, if there are any of those things, that will be major.
Yeah, that's the stuff that I would be really worried about. That's stuff that I'm interested to see if it does come out or whatnot.
Because ultimately, if they just made a shit game and we way overhyped it, which is kind of what it's looking like, not that Cyberpunk is shit, but it wasn't what we expected. But it kind of looks like it was a bit on both ends. They promised a bit too much, we expected way too much, and we've ended up with this. Yeah. If that's the reality, it's not the end of the world, as long as the next thing they bring up's a banger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are some people on the internet that
really?
There are a couple of people on the internet.
Okay, yeah.
Just a couple, not too many. Not a big place out there.
And these are happy individuals, right? They find the silver lining in every cloud.
The internet people are so happy and uplifting. No, actually the opposite. So these people they're so upset, I guess, from Cyberpunk and stuff like that, and they just want to see CDPR burn in every way, that they're really happy that they've got hacked and stuff like that. And it's just like kind of sad to see that kind of shit. It's like, the game doesn't change by them getting hacked, and the game doesn't get better by them getting hacked. Or even if this might have still happened if the game turned out to be everything you wanted it to be. And Cobra writes in as well, and he goes, I saw on Twitter that there are some people saying how CDPR deserved what they got, but thankfully there are plenty of people saying that this crossed the line. Making a bad game doesn't equal to trying to ruin lives. Another reason to show how rotten humanity is sometimes. And honestly, I feel you.
It's funny because the list of stuff they took. Can you read out the list of just the game stuff?
I can do that for you.
If you can find it easily.
So they said from the Perforce server, they've taken the source codes for Cyberpunk 2077, Witcher 3, Gwent, and the unreleased version of Witcher.
Okay. That is 3 solid games. Yeah. Forget Cyberpunk. The Witcher 3... one of the best games ever made. Yeah. It's in my top 3, and my top 3 is Squint, and they're all the same. Yeah. With God of War just nudging it, really. But Witcher 3, Gwent, and then the upgrade for next gen for The Witcher 3. Those are bangers. Those are banging games. And so I think if a company made The Witcher 3, Gwent, and by the way, giving us The Witcher 3 remastered or whatever they're going to call it for free, the update, which is basically remastered, for free, it's not like they're big evil corp. They're not Umbrella.
Yeah.
They're not Arasaka and Militech, right? They messed up with Cyberpunk. It isn't ready. It wasn't ready. They way over-promised and way under-delivered. Yeah. We also way over-hyped it. But if the next game that comes out, slight pivot. What would the next game, if you were CDPR, what would be the next game you made? Would you make Cyberpunk 2087? Or would you make The Witcher 4? Would you make... I would do my Vesemir thing.
I was going to say, you had an idea for a Vesemir game, like a prequel type thing and whatnot. And I think that would be quite good, especially because Witcher has that name and whatnot. And if you wanted to make another game and make people give you a chance, you'd much likely to get a chance off of a Witcher game than a Cyberpunk game, and maybe you could win back some hearts and minds and then go, do you know what, we're doing a sequel to Cyberpunk, it's actually good this time. I know we said that last time, but this time is good. I promise you guys. I do like that, by the way, it says the unreleased version of Witcher 3, because there was a part of me that was thinking maybe it was just going to be a next gen patch. Yeah. It sounds like it's going to be quite a substantial thing.
Quite meaty.
Yeah. But we don't know anything about coding. This could be the way it's done. I don't know.
It could just be, we have no idea what language these people use normally.
Or epically pwned. You can tell right here. and the shitter.
Right. But what I'm saying is if English is a language they learned from TV.
Yes.
Right? And they're actually South Korean coders. So English isn't their first language. Then that kind of language, like the unreleased version of Witcher, might just be the way they're phrasing the update. So we can't, we don't know. If we knew for a fact that person was American or English, or
then we could read into it.
Yeah, we could read into it, but we don't know. So also, it might look slightly different because I believe the DLC's coming in it. It's all coming as one thing. I think so.
Yeah, it's one bit, like Game of the Year type thing.
Yeah. So maybe that's a reason why it's considered something different. from a coding perspective? I have no idea. I'm totally making it up, but.
Or it could be the fact that it's just on a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X. Yeah. Maybe that's the reason why it's different.
Yeah, don't know.
Joe writes in, he says, another CDPR failure. It seems like they can't catch a break. You would have thought by that you would encrypt your own servers better and not allow for outside users to infiltrate the server. I have to say, there's something quite ironic about a company making a game about hacking and cyberpunk and whatnot, getting hacked and having all their shit stolen.
I will say,
quite funny.
I will say, in fairness to Cyberpunk, that there are some hackers out there that once they set their mind to a thing, they get the thing. Like there was that big scandal, what was it, a year or two ago? Equinox, I think it was they lost like 100 million people's credit reports.
Okay.
They were hacked and stolen and stuff, right? That's pretty big. I think it was actually the IRS that got hacked.
Damn.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
But these things happen.
Yeah.
Sony got hacked. Microsoft's been hacked. If Sony and Microsoft can get hacked, CDPR can get hacked.
Yeah.
Right?
It's determination at the end of the day, isn't it? If someone wants to, they want to do it. We're going to move on to our next topic. Yeah. There was one thing that I forgot, one part of a Hood's message that I forgot to read about the E3 stuff over here. He goes, continuing on about, he's talking about Summer Game Fest being so bad and whatnot. He also says, lots of games nobody cared about shoved in there to fill the sausage, quantity over quality. Also, the fact that they're the biggest gaming sites and they can't afford better cameras or microphones, just like what I was saying. Everybody looked like they were filming with a Nokia 3310 and being recorded through a walkie-talkie. Man spitting facts right here. And don't get me started on the EA and Ubisoft streams with personalities as hosts, like Kinda Funny and a Kinda Cancer. AKA Kinda Cancer. Oh, that's a hilarious one right there. A pre-recorded thing like Sony did last year would go a long way for me. That's the thing.
I think right pre-recorded. If you're watching it, it doesn't matter if it's live.
The PS5 reveal, pre-recorded, fantastic. I mean, I don't remember much of it because we was kind of drunk that day.
I mean, I'm just agreeing with you. We may have had a bevy or two.
Yes, but from what I hear, great.
And so is the Discord VC afterwards, apparently as well.
Apparently, was it? It was either no. It was Smallville. D took me singing drunk in that VC, the Smallville theme song, and he overlaid it on the Smallville theme video, and it's just me going, "Somebody save me," and he put it randomly up one day. I was like, I both hate you and love you at the same time. Thank you so much for that, D.
That's something, is what that is.
Let's move on to our next topic, bro.
Yeah.
I'm going to sound like Walshy here, but Assassin's Creed have now introduced a buttload more microtransactions, and to quote Fishy, it sucks fundamental cock.
There was already... How new is this news?
It's roughly about 2 or 3 days old.
Okay, so pretty new.
Yeah.
Because when we were talking to Ethan, I guess on the last True Gamer that he was on, so what's that, 4 weeks ago?
Yeah.
He was saying... Or maybe it would have been just after. He was talking about how there's already like 4 or 5 armor sets that are basically locked behind microtransactions. Mm-hmm. Not locked. It's not exactly a high bar.
Was it armor sets or was it the XP boost we were talking about?
Not sure. Don't remember.
I think it was the XP ones, but yeah.
But I think he was talking about armor sets as well. It doesn't matter. The point is, at that point, he was already complaining how much was there, and the fact that there's even more now.
Yeah.
It makes me worry, and. Really not so much about Ubisoft. It makes me worry about their demo because they just are sucking it. They're just taking it.
Yeah.
And that kind of worries me. And that's why you get consistently worse games, because they put out a piece of garbage and you buy it and you crow about how good it is. Then they bring out another piece of garbage that's even worse and you buy it. Like when you allow people to underperform and keep getting the same...
Keep rewarding them.
Yeah, like they're gonna do less work and less work and less work.
What
Unless you put 400 hours on Odyssey.
Well, then you're a true gamer,
right?
Obviously, right?
That's the only opinion I want to hear. Someone that's put in that kind of dedication to really know a game.
It's like, excuse me, how many hours into Assassin's Creed Odyssey you put? 400. Okay, continue.
Oh yeah, you may speak.
Let the speaker speak. That's the main thing. What you said about the demographic and whatnot. Is that Ubisoft, with all of these microtransactions, see their demographic as just money bags. Yeah. That's what they see right there. Now, there are two people on the side of this argument. There's actually an argument to be made against people who like microtransactions, people who for microtransactions, believe it or not. I don't know how this works. So there are people over there that are pissed off that Ubisoft are bringing out a full price $70 game.
Yeah.
Having the content in there and then charging £15 per armor set. And having 9 of the armor sets locked behind a paywall.
Wow.
Is it 9 or 6 or something like that?
It's a lot.
Locked behind a paywall. And putting that into their games as if that's okay. Now, that just means that they don't see their player base as gamers. They don't see them as valued customers. They just see them as another point of money. That's what they see you guys as.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
That's what people are most pissed about. And then there are other people that are just like arguing in the background going, well, it's their game. It's a single player game. It doesn't matter.
I'll say
those people don't understand that it's what Ubisoft are trying to do to their player base. They don't respect them enough.
It's not microtransactions in and of themselves that bother me.
Go on.
I think that they should put microtransactions in RDR2.
Okay.
And if they get enough revenue, finally fund some care for it.
Some actual content for... Oh, you mean Red Dead Online?
Yeah.
Online, there you go.
Did I not? I meant
RDR2, Red Dead Online.
Yeah, I meant the online. I think they should put microtransactions in. And if people are willing to buy stuff, then they can start ramping up the team saying, look, there is actually something here. It won't scratch GTA... But it doesn't have to scratch GTA to be a huge cash cow for them. GTA is a multi-billion-dollar game. If it can do a couple $100 million for them, and they've already developed it, and they have a team of like 20 or 30 guys that just make some skins or some new carriages or whatever the frick you do in RDR Online.
Yeah,
like microtransactions are going to be the only way that game gets any love and attention, and that I think would be a good thing.
I think they've kind of done it backwards though.
Yeah,
I
agree.
They need to do more. So they made heists for GTA Online.
Yeah.
And saw how successful that was.
Bank robbery would be sick.
And then they just went, that's really successful. Let's not do that.
That's the ultimate cowboy adventure, isn't it?
That would have been
knocking
so
off
perfect.
a train or knocking off a bank, pulling the bars down with horses and stuff.
And then people would flock to it, and then they'd buy all the microtransactions. They'd pay for all the stuff so they can get gold bars and whatever.
But nothing's locked behind the paywall. That's the big deal. Like it's just cosmetic stuff. I feel like armor sets is £15. It was way too much.
Also, so this is an extra little thing as well, and it adds to the extra layer of bullshit that Ubisoft is and how they see, especially in 2020, where people were 2021 now, where 2020 was such a shit year.
Yeah.
People were losing money, people were losing jobs and stuff like that. Ubisoft are like, people aren't making money. Let's charge people more for things after we've got them to buy our already expensive game. That's great right there.
I think the suits... This is my...
Hold on, there was a point I was going to make before that and whatnot.
Charging £15.
So yeah, the armor sets, some of them have benefits in the game and make you more powerful as well. So it makes the gameplay shorter and whatnot. Exactly. Now, it is single player, so you're not affecting anyone else. But then it's like... So hold on a minute. The game is like hard in a certain way and whatnot, which they did make harder a few months ago so they could incentivize you buying the XP boosts. And then you've got these armor sets which make it slightly easier for me, again incentivizing me to go and buy it. Was my money that I spent on the game, on the collector's edition or the season pass, not enough for you to just give me a nice game?
No, it wasn't, because they're Ubi.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not enough.
Their number one feature in games microtransactions. That's what I said there. There is one other thing about Ubisoft as well that happened. Recently they announced their financials and how things are going and where they're planning to go in the future. Right, apparently Ubisoft are never going to give up the RPG formula that has been in the latest games, because they've been doing so damn well with the casual market, with Origins and Odyssey.
Filthy casuals.
There's filthy casuals dictating our true gamers right here. This made a lot of our guys upset.
Yes.
Because they were hoping that they would see that this is all just taking away from the roots of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, but how could they possibly see it when it makes them more money? When no one ever pushes back on it? When every single one that complains... Sorry, boys, but every single one of you complains about these games, you've all bought them.
The only person that's taken a stand is Tyler, and he's like, I'm not going to play any more AC games.
But he did buy Valhalla.
But it's too late now. He did buy Valhalla as well. I think he got a code, but still, he would have bought this one regardless. Yeah. And it's too late now. The damage has been done.
The damage has been done, unless the next game just absolutely tanks. But it won't, because these guys are so determined that maybe the next one will be good. Yeah. Well, maybe you wait, and if the next one is good, you buy it then.
Yeah.
We've never had a shortage of people not being able to get enough of the game. It's only other consoles that have the shortage. So you can wait. You can wait a week to see what your people whose opinions on games you trust have to say. Ethan will have 15 videos by day one, right? That, trust me, you'll know. You will know.
Ethan, the one bad thing about Ethan, I feel like, is that he doesn't like to be too overly critical of something. It's like don't get me wrong, he can be critical, but it's like, end of the day, these people did put a lot of hard work into this, so I'm not gonna be too harsh on them.
What's funny is he'll be utterly savage, but then go, but I'm still enjoying it.
But I'm still enjoying it, guys. Still got 100 hours in Odyssey.
I'll straight up tell you, if I get look, I feel it's funny that I said that, and then I say Cyberpunk's got its problems, but I am still enjoying it. I am still enjoying it.
Yeah.
I would not tell anyone to spend their money on it. That's the difference. Right? I feel like Ethan will go, yeah, if you enjoy his games, buy it. Don't buy Cyberpunk.
Don't buy Cyberpunk.
It's not ready yet.
That's our
maybe give it a year.
Yeah.
Once all the patches are done, then it'll be worth it. Right now it's broken, but I happen to enjoy it. If a game comes out and it's garbo, we're going to straight up say, do not buy it. Don't give it your money.
Yeah.
And the thing is, these guys will listen to you. They did this with Battlefront 2, and the gamers just were like, no, we're not going to bend over and take it. Mm-hmm. And they scrapped the whole thing, went back to the drawing board in the middle of the game's life cycle, unfortunately. But the point is, it will happen. Sonic's a good proof. The Sonic the Hedgehog movie came out. They showed pictures. It was nightmare fuel. No one liked it. In fact, I think one guy was like, "This
Sonic
isn't Sonic
with human teeth. What?"
Right. I believe the way they got the redesign was somebody was like, "This isn't right," and made one, and they were like, "Oh, I see." And it got like 1 million retweets or something, and they were like, "Ah," and they were like, "See what this guy did? Just make the whole Sonic this way."
I like to think that the guy who made it, he made the design. He was like, "Yes, I'm happy with that." Then he showed his work to everyone, and someone showed it just a few changes on it. It was like, shit, that is better. Right, fuck. Well, I can't do this anymore. Let's just go back to the drawing board. Speaking of Battlefront 2,
yeah, it's an interesting.
Is Anthem the people's game on its last legs?
What do you mean? It's not dead.
It's not dead. So if you remember, guys, this was like...
Is Anthem still bricking consoles?
I think it was 14 million years ago, so a long time ago. Anthem said that they were going to be going in the corner and they're going to be working hard to make Anthem great again, to make it what its original vision was.
MAGA.
Yeah, make Anthem great again. Yeah, that is actually MAGA. Okay, make Anthem great again. Let's get that trending on Twitter. Send it to Donald Trump. Maybe he'll help us out.
Do anything like that.
Yeah, so they went... Do you remember this, by the way? They said they were going to... After the game's atrocious launch, they said they're going to take it back, and they called it... They're going to work on a project called Anthem Next. It's going to be...
Yeah, I remember this.
They're going to take it back to the drawing board. They're going to add all this content. Then they're going to come back and be like, here you go, guys. And it's going to be like a free update to everyone who has the game.
That's code for... There were very clearly sectioned off areas that you could access that they were going to make just functional.
Well, after it came out, there was the big thing. There was like... So that E3 presentation that was like 9 months before the game came out, we had never... The developers, we'd never seen that. We hadn't made that game. That was just something somebody cooked up in like a CG lab somewhere.
What?
And it was just like, and then we had to make that in whatever we had.
I thought you were going to say that was all of the game we had at that point.
No, they just didn't have that. Anyway, that's how bad it was. And then when the game came out, it was obvious that there was just nothing there, and it was awful. And then everyone got pissed off. They took it back into the kitchen, and they've apparently been cooking it this whole time. Rumors have come out that the team, who are something like 100 people strong right now, have got a pitch, and they are pitching it this week to EA. And they're saying, this is the plan that we have. This is what we need to do going forward. However, we need to increase the team size by 3 to 300. And then
we'll be able to... meant 100 from 100 to 103.
No.
We specifically need a guy to manage this project and then 2 extra devs.
2 extra dudes to get us coffees. Need to increase it to 300, and then we can put this plan and this pitch into action and save Anthem. And
Who do they think they're pitching to? Do they think they're pitching to Microsoft?
That's the problem.
We need $500 million.
EA are not known for giving chances, but I mean, they've given them the time to at least go to the drawing board and do this. EA just need to decide whether or not they want to put the funding into this project to make Anthem great again. I said it again.
Yeah, I just looked for synonyms for Anthem because I don't think Anthem reboot is the way to go, or saving Anthem.
Yeah.
You need a different game that can't be Anthem 2.
Mm.
But there are no cool things that chant him song. Like you need tribute, you need a new game. You can be Anthem 2, but just not Anthem.
Well, they're planning... Oh, I see what you mean. Like, there's too much negativity with Anthem that you just need to get away from it.
And also, you need to, massively over-deliver on it. Way over-deliver. The game's got to be big, but in a good way.
Well, they're planning to deliver in the way that they're not going to charge anything for whatever they're going to do.
Yeah, because it's already been bought.
Well, yeah, but making an Anthem 2 or whatever the next sequel is going to be buying a new game. Right. So this is the way they're delivering, is that there's no cost for the gamer. It's just whatever's there, right? Now... We don't know what by the time this podcast comes out, we might get word of whether or not they've gone ahead or not.
Well, we'll be in the live chat, which is...
I think it's this side.
We'll be in the live chat.
Somewhere over there.
And if we have a thing, we'll be like, yeah, we did get a thing, and it was this, and here's the link. But...
What do you think? What do you think the chances are of it? And also, do you think it should even happen?
No. My thing is, generally speaking, if something belly flops that hard, just accept that a project is dead. Move on. Let it be acquired by someone else, or let someone reboot it 5 to 10 years down the road, right? And then say look, we had this thing. There were all these issues with it. We know exactly what went wrong. By the way, since then we've had a 10-year stretch of just bringing you incredible games. We want to reboot this, and as part of the deal, everybody that still has that got Anthem, because it didn't do incredibly well.
No, but I still have Anthem.
Yeah, find all those codes, all those gamer tags, and just be like, all of you people are going to get free DLC for it, right? As a little thank you to buying the first game. Are you going to honestly trust that going into your PS5?
Do you know what? That's a good question right there.
Honestly.
It's like AIDS in AIDS in disc form.
I mean, AIDS does come in dicks. So I think that's the thing. Are you going to trust it? Because it was known to brick PS4s before. Are you going to trust it with your brand new PS5, knowing that not only is the inventory not there, but should it become available, the likelihood of you getting one is so low.
I think I won't touch it unless they do something, because the problem is there's no reason to go back into it now. No. There's nothing there. And if this project was to happen, again, it'll probably be a year or 2 down the line where it actually comes out, because they don't have the people to do it right now. So yes,
say they get the 100's plenty.
It's quite a lot, but they're saying that they need 300. So if they say they need 300, then when they get that, it's got to be minimum a year from that point until they actually get the content out. So we're talking way down the line. And if then they come out with a product, then I will trust them.
It's going to be a microtransactions nightmare. Because to go to EA, take a game that you already spent all this money on that never even came close to recovering, that has damaged its own brand and your brand that much. And then so we need to triple the team size, because we've been limping along at 100 devs. We need to triple it, go back to the drawing board, create all this stuff, re-release it for free. You think there's not one suit going, okay, why?
I do think you have a very good point there.
Yeah.
And this is EA at the end of the day, and they only care about the bottom line.
And their surprise mechanics.
Exactly. But there's 2 points I will bring up.
Okay.
One, they don't have the goodwill to charge anybody after such a terrible start, right? And it's you have the audacity to ask for more. Excuse me? And 2, Battlefront 2. That was also EA, and they did let them work on it. Granted, it was a skeleton crew, but they did let them work on it, and they didn't really ask for much more on top of that.
Did they ever recover their money from it?
I don't know. If
that's the thing. I think they may have in the end.
They did what Microsoft did? You know, when they bought Bethesda, it's like Microsoft have made the money back. Not thinking like EA have made the money back from FIFA.
That's the thing.
But they haven't made it back for the Battlefront.
So like not being able to charge for a new game up front with the Anthem name means that the only way for them to make money, and believe me, they're not just going to spend a 300 man-hour year, on this game for your goodwill or to save it because it's a good idea. That's not. Don't ever think that's going to happen. Never. So, what's the pitch? What's the play? Now, if it's really well done, if they're like, we're going to implement a thing very similar to like Fortnite for the microtransactions, where it's all cosmetics, but it's stuff that you really want and stuff like the Fortnite model's brilliant. Fortnite's really brilliant when it comes to doing that. And we're going to add all this stuff in, and you'll want these things because they'll help. It won't be paid to win, but it will help to do blah blah blah. Unless that pitch is super strong. And then we need to know, like, how many people are still playing Anthem?
Nobody right now.
Right.
No one's playing it right now.
So
it has to be a strong comeback. I think there's an allure to Suits, having that whole Suits and dev companies and publishers and stuff like that. There's an allure to having that No Man's Sky redemption arc, because people want to see someone pick themselves up and then get going. I think that might be enough to say, okay, they will do it. But is it something people care about enough? I don't know. It's a big convoluted mess right now.
I feel like the story arc for No Man's Sky was very different to Anthem. No Man's Sky came out. It was this hugely ambitious project. Didn't quite deliver, but it kept working to deliver its original promise, right? They brought it out. Turned out there wasn't that much in it. And they kept going and going and going, and finally, by the end of it, was this really incredible thing.
Yeah.
Anthem comes out. It's not even close to what they said, and it's bricking consoles. And not only that, but it's also clearly a cash grab from the very beginning. You could see there were zones you could interact with that were walled off because it was coming in a DLC event. It was coming if you bought a key in a microtransaction, like you knew it was a money grab.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if their arcs are similar. And No Man's Sky didn't die out completely.
True.
Whereas Anthem has just fallen off a cliff. How are you going to get people back onto a game?
That's a good point right there, because we haven't heard anything from Anthem ever since.
No Man's Sky dropped down to a level, but it stayed there.
Yeah. Even Gotham Knights, which was a game that everyone was like, WB Montreal making on a Batman game. Every 5 days, people would be like, so what's happening with this Batman game? What's happening with this Batman game? Even people were talking about that. No one's talking about Anthem. Anyway, I'll be interested to hear what people think in the comments section. You can let us know whether or not it's even worth bringing Anthem back. I still do like the whole mech suit thing, Iron Man suit stuff.
Then you'll really enjoy Gurren Lagann, which we'll be doing for Anime Club.
Oh, kill me now.
But like, I think there is an allure to the Iron Man suit thing, and that is basically the stuff. It's a great visual, but is a great visual enough? I don't think so. Also, there are other Iron Man things out there. There's other ways to scratch the Iron Man itch. Iron Man VR.
With Iron Man VR, or even Marvel's Avengers.
The number one most awaited game of 2019.
Square Enix, you guys did it.
It's so funny because they normally
so much money.
They normally really deliver. Square Enix, I have them in pretty high regard.
I mean, they made Final Fantasy. I wouldn't regard them.
True, that is their crowning achievement. I think it actually is their crowning achievement. But that in Kingdom Hearts, I think.
Wait, so is it?
I'm pretty certain it's Square Enix.
Capcom? No, it's Square. It must be Square Enix, right? I must be thinking something else.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah. Do you mind if I move on to our next topic?
Yeah, do it, man.
Our next topic is GTA ships 140 million copies in total to date. And 2020 was its best-selling year since the consoles launched.
Just to be clear,
since the game launched. Sorry.
Is that a language thing where best-selling meaning most downloaded because it was free for a few months?
It was not free for a few months, no.
It was free for a bit.
No.
Yeah, it became free. GTA 5 became free.
No.
Yeah, it went free on a few things.
I don't think so.
Pretty sure. Because there's a
have
big
a look,
thing
have
about,
a Google, but I don't think
there's
so.
a big thing about like, that feeling when you buy GTA the day before it goes free. Yeah, I swear.
I think there was a point where I think GTA Online is free on PS5, but I don't think it was ever free.
Oh, I don't know.
GTA 5 free on PS Plus.
Yeah, the sun.co.uk. GTA 5 is free to download and keep forever right now, is what it said. I don't want to... Fine, I agree. That was in May 2020.
Does it say where it is? Because I just completely must have missed this.
Hit Game Ground was completely free download and keep this for this week. So there was a week where GTA 5 became free, and on one day...
Do you have a random date there?
It was somewhere in May 2020.
May 2020. Anyway, that may be a thing, but it's been selling ever since, and they sold an extra 10 million units in 2020.
Well, it was 2 weeks, so May 14th to May 21st. Oh, but that was only the PC version of the game.
There you go.
So the interesting thing is, you said sold.
Yes.
I think people still buying this game?
That's the thing I want to point out.
This is a PS3 game.
The hell in 2019 it was 130 million, and they've sold another 10 million copies in the past year, and this has been the biggest selling year since launch.
It came out in September 2013. This game is as old as The Last of Us, and at least that got remastered and a sequel.
Who is buying GTA 5? Who is doing it? Why?
Who hasn't played it by now?
I'm genuinely thinking it's one of those things where, like, you know, when like people, I don't smoke, but you know, if you smoke and you lose a lighter, you're like, fuck it, I'll just grab a new lighter. I'll just buy another. Right. It's like that. They're like, where'd I put my copy of GTA?
Buy a new console, can't find the disc.
I'll
just buy it.
Just buy another copy of GTA. Why not?
It's got to be 100. I don't think there are 140.
That's the thing. I tried to think about this, and there's no way to get a definitive number, but it's like 140 million PS4s out there. Yeah. But they're not 140 million active PS4s. No. Some of them are broken, and someone bought another one, or they've sold them off, or many of them just get left somewhere, wherever, or don't use them. So let's say half of those are thing. So people are just buying multiple copies of shit.
They have to be at this point, because despite the fact that there are that many consoles, there aren't that many gamers.
No.
140 million. I don't see it.
It's crazy.
I don't see it. And we're not talking about in the world. We're talking about pretty much in the West, right? The West plays GTA, right? So it's America, Canada, us, and maybe some of Europe.
Yeah.
I don't think there's 140 million gamers in that.
There was a rumor as well that came out saying that Red Dead Redemption #1 could get a remaster before GTA 6 comes out. And people were like, oh yeah, that'd be really cool to get Red Dead Redemption in the Red Dead 2 engine and whatnot. Cool, like really cool. But the way that I saw this is that they really don't want to pull out GTA 6 until they sell at least let's get another 10 million copies in there. Let's go.
Do you know what it is? I think they're worried that if they bring out GTA 6 and it doesn't perform as well as GTA 5 did, that they will have got people off GTA 5, but they will leave GTA 6.
That's exactly it. That's what they're worried, and they don't want to get people off of GTA Online. They don't want to get people off of all that stuff.
Because once there's something new, like we're big fans of new things. Like the only reason you're looking at all into playing Mass Effect is because the Legendary Edition's coming out, and it's new.
Yeah.
And I think exactly that. A lot of people don't want to play old games. They want to play the most current GTA.
Yeah.
If the most current GTA isn't 5, what are they going to do?
It's so fucking crazy. People are so, and this is. There was also a funny thing. A Twitter account who's just constantly tweeting about GTA 6.
Yeah.
Tweeted out today. He just picked 4 random tweets from Rockstar's Twitter page.
Right.
All of them just like days apart.
If you rearrange the letters in these 5 tweets, it says GTA 6 is coming on the 17th of November.
Basically, what he did, except it was much more rudimentary. It was like the first letter of this tweet, G. Next one, T. Next one, A. Next one, VI. And it's like, GTA 6 confirmed. And I've retweeted. I was like, confirmed. And then the guy messages me back and he's like, well, actually, it's already been confirmed. But his thing, I was like, I'm mocking you. I'm mocking you, damn it. Stop trying to...
You've had a bit of attention on Twitter
a little bit. A little bit. Should we talk a little bit about that? Because Ben wrote in with a question.
And it is kind of gaming related.
Exactly. So you guys remember we did talk about the Last of Us TV show that's coming out to HBO.
Yeah.
Neil Druckmann and all the official guys from Naughty Dog are working on it to make sure it's like authentic and stuff like that.
They're not going to let D&D take over season 8.
God, they're not gonna be that stupid. Anyway, a rumor came out last night that let me just get his name. Mahershala Ali was going to be playing Joel in the Last of Us TV show. For those of you guys that don't know, he was announced recently in the MCU to be playing Blade, and I was like, of course, Blade. Yeah. He's perfect.
Absolutely,
he's so good. I was like, perfect, great character right there. It was then confirmed like hours later that was completely not true, and that Pedro Pascal is going to be playing Joel. And also, do you remember the girl's name who's playing Ellie?
She's the little...
Something Ramsey.
Is that the real name or the name of the character?
I think that's her real name.
I'll Google it.
Yeah, if you can Google it, it's the Game of Thrones chick, something Ramsey, playing Ellie. We can find that, I'm sure.
Yeah, hold on, give me 1 second. I've got the articles. I don't want to click on these articles and give them the AdSense. Bella Ramsey.
Bella Ramsey. She played the young girl who was the
She was in charge of some house.
Yeah, ruler of her own house, her kingdom and whatnot. She was really young. She seemed great in Game of Thrones. I think she might do a good Ellie. But anyway, this is what Super Bowl Ben wrote in to say. I got a lot of flack for this, and I'll tell you about that in a second. Right, so I know already has very strong opinions against what I'm about to say. I think you might have misunderstood me, but this will be a good place to clear it all up. But how are you thinking about the rumors of Mahershala Ali to play Joel in the Last of Us TV show? Personally, I don't care about what the actor looks like. Joel is a fictional character. As long as he captures Joel's character mentally, it shouldn't really matter what he looks like. They both are different versions in the same way that Tom Holland doesn't look like Nathan Drake. In the theater industry, they've had people from any ethnic background play characters or people who are originally from different ethnic backgrounds.
I want Henry Cavill to play T'Challa.
It would work.
Now we sound ridiculous, right?
This is the thing. He goes, just a stage show, Hamilton. I think it's about time that TV and film caught up to the industry. So let me first put out my thing, because I don't want people to confuse what I was saying. I wasn't at all, at any point, you can see in my tweets, worried about the colour of any of the characters at all. That wasn't my point. My point is that they took a name, The Last of Us, and then they decided they were going to change it.
Right.
Now, if this was a TV show and somebody gave a pitch to me, they were like, Mahershala Ali is going to be starring with, what's her name, something Ramsey? Eleanor Ramsey. Let's just say it's Eleanor Ramsey for me.
I found Eleanor Ramsey. I lost it. Hold on.
Eleanor Ramsey, and it's a outbreak situation.
Bella Ramsey.
It's a post-apocalyptic after an outbreak of a huge virus. Society's crumbled apart.
That sounds sick.
It sounds amazing, and I'd be like, sign me the hell up for that crap.
Are you kidding? That sounds great.
What isn't right is getting a character that has already been defined, has already been put in a place, and then changing that character in the way.
Yeah.
I never at one point said anything about color. That was what everyone else on Twitter was saying, and you picked out yourself, and I don't. Maybe it was just a misinterpretation of what I've said that you took into that, but that's not what I was trying to say. There was a couple of people who brought up some other things. This wasn't my stuff. But they were like, what if we had changed Rhodey in Iron Man in War Machine, and we just changed him randomly one movie into, like, let's use Henry Cavill for example and whatnot, just randomly in this. Like, okay, technically he's just playing a character, but that character's already been defined. Why are you just changing him?
You can miscast people, and it's not. Look, the number one thing needs to be the person's ability.
Yeah.
But you are also casting for a reason. Like, you would not cast what's Tyrion Lannister's real name? Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage, that's it.
You would not cast Peter Dinklage as Geralt.
Yeah.
Doesn't fit. He's actually incredibly talented. He could probably really deliver. As a voice actor, he might do it. He might be great. It's not the guy.
Yeah.
The role's wrong for him, right? You're not going to cast Margot Robbie as Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Because the role's wrong, even though she's brilliant.
Yeah.
You're not going to cast Morgan Freeman which was the example I gave, as Joel, because he's 83.
Yeah.
For one.
And Morgan Freeman has the best, possibly one of the acting chops out there.
Oh, you could absolutely argue Morgan Freeman's the best one of the best actors ever. Absolutely. He's got the skill for sure. Although that did get me down the train of like, who would I cast? And I would like a Man on Fire Denzel. Ooh. If we're changing Joel up, that's my pick.
If we're gonna change Joel, then fuck it, let's go for Denzel Washington.
Right. But look, you establish a character, and that was the example I gave. Would everybody be okay with now that the role of T'Challa's up for grabs? We put Henry Cavill in as Black Panther. No, I don't think they would. No. So this idea of, and you tell me why, because I want it in your words why that's not okay. Because for those exact same reasons, I don't think that, let's say, young Morgan Freeman would be a great pick for Joel. Not because he isn't brilliant, but because Joel has been given a thing, and we've had this a few times. Like there was a play for Harry Potter, and Hermione was cast as it was a black woman that got it, and people were complaining, and I think, what is her name? J.K. Rowling was like, "Oh, I never described Hermione." First of all, yes, you did, and you've described Black and Indian and Chinese characters in the books before, and actively described them. You described Hermione as being white, but the real issue should have been, how good is this actress?
Yeah,
that's our number one issue, and it's a play. Plays are just. They have more
plays are like Fing was saying in Broadway and whatnot. It's a little bit more.
Yeah, in Broadway you can do that because the acting pool is more limited, the viewership is more limited, and it's much more about the immediate relationship between you and the audience and stuff, the actor and the audience. For a show, the casting or a movie, I think the casting is much more important, and ideally needs to, first things first, get the skill right. You need an actor that's good enough, and then cast someone that's appropriate, right? You don't cast. I'm giving enough examples of how not to do it.
Yeah.
But my pick, and I think a lot of people, and I'm not the only person that said this. Is a very popular.
No, this was your only solo. No one else thought of this. Go ahead and just take all the credit for yourself.
What is his name? It's Nikolai
Costa.
Nikolai.
The Kingslayer,
Nikolai Costa-Waldau, I think. Yes. I don't know how you say it, but it's the guy that played Jaime Lannister. He has the skill as the actor, and he looks good enough.
Yeah, almost identical.
He's actually very close. If you see him with like the salt and pepper beard, let's get that picture up. Like, I mean, he's in a suit here, but he looks pretty good, I would say, as a Joel character. That would be my pick for it. Oh, here's actually a side by side. I'd say I'm going to send that to you on Discord so you can put it up if you remember.
Yeah.
But I'd say he's a good pick for it. He has the acting chops, and he looks about right for the character. I don't particularly care about his skin color, but it's part of who the character is.
Yeah.
There are other issues as well. Like, look, if we're going to change everything, if Joel is now like one of those Bayou Louisianan southern black guys, who Joel is and his entire backstory is totally different. His experiences and getting to where he is are going to be totally different. The character's kind of different. If he's a Chinese immigrant straight from Hong Kong and everything kicks off, he's a different guy.
Yeah,
he's a different guy.
So just to clarify,
holy shit,
again,
that's actually the same guy.
It's perfect, right?
That's even better than I thought it would look. Yeah, sold. That's who I cast. He looks like he's got the acting chops.
Unfortunately, it's never going to happen. Unfortunately, it's never going to happen because he's already been cast now. So just to clarify again, my point on that, Ben, and also I do want to issue a warning to some of the guys as well. None of our guys said anything. They're all very cool about this. My point was that they took something, The Last of Us, and then they went, okay, we're going to make a show about this, but we're going to change it. Then why did you start with that? I would have been completely fine with Mahershala Ali in an Outbreak scenario TV show. That would have been so great.
Taking over from The Walking Dead. Like a brand new character.
And those characters, something you've completely made up. I have no objection to that. Yeah. But then when somebody's already taken a character, you can't then change that character. That's then there's no point in having that character in the first place. That was my main issue.
Yeah.
I do have to put an issue a bit of a warning as well for some of the people out there. Some people were immediately trying to jump to the race card, be very, very careful where you throw the race card around, okay? Because it's extremely damaging to throw that around and just play as if it's some sort of toy and whatnot. It's like, I can get a rise out of someone if I throw the race card around. Really, really bad stuff. Don't do that. It's not fun, especially for people who do suffer from racism. Really not good stuff, okay? Anyway, Mahershala Ali is going to be great in the Blade anyway. That's what I'm looking forward to from him.
I'm a little bit worried. A lot.
Someone said the director who's directing it could be bad. Do you know who's directing it?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But if it's like a... who directed these Star Wars things? Catherine...
She was like the main...
What is her name?
Kathy Jenkins.
That's it.
She was She's one like overlooking everything.
Yeah, the suit in charge. If the suit in charge of Blade does stuff like that, then we're going to end up with a Dark Phoenix situation. And just the fact that Blade is one of the coolest characters out there,
yep.
And like the whole Daywalker thing, dude. Also, some of the Blade, like Blade 1, incredible. Blade 3, Blade Trinity, not so much.
Hold on a second.
Don't even go
Blade
there.
Trinity had the best actor in the world, Ryan Reynolds, in it, and his comedy with the whole.
I hated it.
I
hate it so much.
Anytime the vampire chick come around, he's making sexual advances, but he's like, I really don't want to have sex with you because you could bite my knob off. But
I mean, that was actually the first thing, because he has swords in that as well, and I was like, why isn't this guy Deadpool?
Hold on a second, he's Deadpool.
Yeah, because he kind of playing. But like, so Blade Trinity bad, Blade 1 incredible. So it's not the highest bar to meet, but I would be a little bit worried. Yeah, there's a few really good picks for Joel. I don't like the skin color isn't the issue. It's not, you're not staying close enough to the source material.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, we're going to do The Last of Us, but we're changing everything.
James did say something to me on Twitter. He goes, he sort of washed his hands of The Last of Us before it even got announced. He was just like, a TV show adaptation. He said basically what we said, where we have the greatest form of entertainment, video games, so we don't need the TV show. And he's like, I just assumed the TV show was going to be terrible and they weren't going to stick to the source material. So I washed my hands of it. And I was like, I wish I had thought like you, because it would have saved me a lot of pain.
The Witcher was great.
They turned out to be doing Pedro Pascal, which is a bit more understandable.
I think Pedro Pascal's good enough.
Yeah.
I do. And I don't care. I think people are arguing about, oh no, it was it wasn't Pedro Pascal. People are arguing the racist thing. Is he...
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah. Like, I think he looks fine.
Yeah.
He looks okay. He's just not who I would have picked. I would have picked Nikolai, I think, this is going to rustle some jimmies, Viggo Mortensen. Viggo Mortensen. Aragorn. That would have been my second pick. He was in The Road, I want to say.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Here, I'll show you the picture I'm looking at. I'll send that here. This is who my second pick
would have been. All the Lord of the Rings fans are going to love you now.
I know.
Oh,
that would have
here we
been,
go.
come on, send. That would have been my second pick.
There's a picture of I think that's Mahershala Ali there. Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah, next to each other.
So that that's the way I would have gone, because you've got both the skill and the thing. But look, we can change everything. But okay, fine. It's Joel, and he's playing by, what's his name? Mahershala Ali. And Ellie is now being played by Peter Dinklage, and it's set in Lagos during the Hulk out scene in Avengers Age of Ultron. And right, like we can change everything then at that point. Like, there's a reason that this is based on what it's based on, so keep it close enough. There'll have to be stuff that wasn't in the game. There will have to be. They'll have to include stuff that was in the game. There will have to be. Okay, but stick to the source material. It's good because the source material is good. Stick to it.
Two things I want to say. One about Ben saying that Tom Holland being cast as Nathan Drake and whatnot, not looking like him. He's been cast as a younger Nathan Drake, and they did that because they don't have someone who looks like Nathan Drake. That's the reason why because he doesn't look like him. Another reason why they're based on looks. That's another thing right there.
Also,
let me get my other point out before I forget about that. I think I might have already forgotten about it now.
They don't have an older Nathan Drake.
It was a different point to that, but it's gone from me.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry. No, it was in my head, but I forgot.
I kept looking. I was like, I thought you were like finishing up, and I was like, also, and then you didn't finish up.
Go on.
The thing about having an older Nathan Drake is we already had those movies.
Yeah.
They were made with Harrison Ford. And that's something you don't want to compete with. You don't want to compete with
It'd be very difficult
Indiana Jones. Because that's already the thing. That's the exact reason I never played the Uncharted games when I was younger. Because I was like, I've already seen this movie and it's better with Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Right? So, Tom Holland also doesn't look that bad. Doesn't look that too dissimilar from young Nathan Drake.
Yeah.
I think it's close enough.
I agree.
So...
anyway, thanks for writing in, Ben. I was thinking about leaving it and not addressing that, but I'm glad you wrote in so it didn't like just sort of skate by. I feel like I got my point across a bit better then. Yeah, it's quite cool right there.
I'm gonna see if Mahershala Ali is on Cameo.
Oh shit, that would be fucking cool.
Then we can have him. We'll pay him to come on and call out everybody that complained about you.
All of those guys that complained about Eddie. He has to do it in his cool voice.
Yeah, of course.
I can't do his cool voice.
No.
But it's like all those people that complained about Eddie.
I love you. Like I can't do his voice. Then you tried to do the voice.
Yeah, I try, but it's not going to work out.
Right.
But anyway, he's not on there.
No.
Oh, well, I guess we'll just have to get Michael Rosenbaum, like we said.
Yeah, that'll have to be it.
That will work. The DualSense controller. I was about to say 5 and make him happy, but I didn't say that. The DualSense controller could be getting the back button attachments that we saw for the DualShock 4.
Yes.
Now, the pattern has been put out there.
Yeah.
So this thing is real.
Yeah.
Are they going to make it? That's again something that Sony have to decide. They sometimes don't make these patterns. But the really strange thing is, and I have to give a hat tip to Dan, our super bro, the pattern pictures show the DualShock 4.
Yeah.
Not the DualSense controller.
So?
But it's a different controller.
Not that different.
But still, it has to fit to it.
Yeah. But I mean, like, if you make the tech, which is the idea for the back buttons is just that it plugs into the charging port.
The port at the bottom, yeah.
And goes around the things. There's only a slight change to the molds to change where those plastic buttons go, and the change to the whether it's a USB. It was a micro USB to a USB-C, right?
No. So there's a lot different with it. On top of the mold being different, like the shape being different at the bottom of the controller.
But they haven't made them yet. It's a pattern. They haven't gone into production. They don't have the molds for these.
The thing is, the pattern, the whole point of a pattern is that you're supposed to be very, very specific about the shape, the look, the everything about it, so that when somebody copies it, you can be like, hold on a second, it's exactly the same as what we've got here. And then you can sue them for it. That's the whole point of patterns. And then the whole thing shows it as a DualShock 4. The connection at the bottom of the DualShock 4 controller was a 3.5mm jack, and then on one side there was like 3 pins. On the new DualSense controller, it's a 3.5mm jack in the middle, and then there's 2 pins on either side. So it is different.
Jacking into though.
Yeah.
It's those, not the back port.
Not on the top. No, it's on the bottom where like the joystick controllers are. And I mean, everywhere's reporting on it, so I'm guessing that there's other pages to this that we're not privy to or something like that. Because when I put it on the Twitter, I was like, oh, awesome, this will be great. I've been waiting for something like this. And then Dan was like, isn't that the DualShock 4? And I was like, it is.
I would bet that if you were a lawyer, they would say the pattern will cover the DS5.
Maybe.
Right, and that's why it doesn't matter.
I don't know enough about patent law.
Yeah, like if the point is that it interacts with a Sony controller, and it plugs in this spot, it puts buttons in this spot to do this function, then it doesn't matter if it's for the DS4 or they brought it out for the DS4 so that it covers it for the DS5 instead of just bringing it out with the DS5.
Could be.
I'm calling it the DS5. Deal with it.
Like I'm calling her Ains. That's what it is.
I hate it so much. I wouldn't be surprised to find that it covers it, and that the pattern being ever so slightly different as to the way it specifically plugs in, it would cover it. And then I wouldn't be surprised to find there's only 3 of these things that were ever made when they made the pattern, if they even made it. And therefore, like when it comes to making the molds, they just use the DS5. Also, there's 100 million PS4s plus, which means at least, if not more than 100 million DS4s. So, like, why not bring it out? The PS4 still is almost outselling. I think we can probably go as far as to say it's outselling the Series X. because we only have the numbers for the Series X and S combined.
Yeah.
So the PS4 is outselling the current Xbox leader.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you bring out something for that controller?
I just thought it was an interesting thing that they're like, the DualSense controllers getting the back buttons, and then they show the DualShock 4, and I'm like, that's a what's that there?
Yeah, that is interesting though.
It could be coming out in the future. If it is, that's awesome. Look out for that stuff. But that's just wanted to mention that for you.
You need to get it.
It seems like a really cool thing, and it's really cheap.
Yeah, if you play first-person shooters for sure, you need it. Not need it, but like it's a huge advantage for like 20 quid or whatever it's going to cost, $40. It's a huge advantage because it means you don't have to take your thumb off the analog stick to hit X or square or circle or whatever. You can do it on the back. It's probably worth getting if you're into fighting games. So again, same sort of deal in case you use that. I don't know. I haven't played those games in ages.
I don't understand anything you said because
There's only one game, God of War 4.
There's only one game, but you know what's really upsetting about God of War?
What?
Every time I turn it on, I look at the main PS5 page, and it's, you know, in the corner how it has your trophies there. It's got like 37 out of 37. It's got the platinum trophy. Yeah. I feel upset that I can't get those trophies again. I feel like I'm missing something when I'm playing a game that I can't get the trophies. You're the kind of guy that plays games for fun. I don't know.
Trophies pop up every now and then. I'm like, oh, there was a trophy for that? That's cool.
You play games for fun, whereas I play games to get trophies.
Yeah.
And when I see that, I'm like, I'm enjoying this game, but it's like, this is good, but it could be better. You know, why can't I wish I could just reset and have it come up again.
There is only one trophy in all games, and that is completing all the side content.
Yes.
That is the real purpose of a game.
And that's the stupid thing. I'm doing it. All of Odin's birds that's flying around, Odin's eyes, the cooler, I'm hitting them. There's no benefit to doing it. I'm doing it in God of War, even though I've got the platinum trophy.
You can't not.
I can't not.
Do you know what's really funny is I would spend, if there was a very difficult one, I would spend the half an hour, wherever it is, to get it. I'm not going to do all of them, but it's there. It's there, and I need to get it because that counts as side content. It's one of the extra things. Yeah,
I can see that guy doing it.
Right,
fucking mad.
I will travel all the way across the map to get this bird, even though I know unless I can see it, I'm not going to go looking for it. No. I'm not going to find a tutorial for where they all are. But if I see it, I got to get it.
It's like
that's what happened with the Valkyries.
Yeah.
I bumped into the first one. I'm like, these are sick.
The only content
and then I went
is side content.
Searching for them.
That needs to be a t-shirt. I've just thought of it now. The only content is side content. One final topic, gaming related. Yeah. Believe it or not, on the True Gamer podcast. We're switching it up a little bit from the regular stuff. Yeah. Battlefield 6 has been confirmed to be coming out this year.
Do we know when it's set?
Yes.
The only thing I care about.
It's modern day this time, so it's modern like warfare type stuff. Okay. So the last couple were in like previous times, like Battlefield 1 and I don't know.
So they finally caught up. So it's Battlefield Modern Warfare instead of Call of Duty.
Battlefield Modern Warfare, Battlefield Black Ops. That's what they're going to call it. Black Ops Cold War. That's what they're going to call the next one. Battlefield 6 apparently will be set in modern times. Yeah. Apparently, there is going to be the standard Battlefield campaign, along with the normal multiplayer. Yeah. Apparently, it will leverage the power of the next gen consoles, the current gen consoles.
You'd expect it to, yeah.
Exactly. That's in fact what they said on the investors call as well. That we expect to be using the power of the consoles.
Right.
Which I was like, why would you say it like that?
Yeah,
we are, or we expect to. Like,
that's weird.
Anyway,
maybe it's them saying we've already started and it runs like Garbo on the previous gen.
We need the power of the.
You guys know about the thing with Cyberpunk, right?
Same thing's gonna happen.
Same thing.
Apparently, it's gonna be all kinds of cool. There's apparently gonna be over 100 players in each server and stuff like that. Really cool stuff. And apparently, they're gonna have a Battle Royale free-to-play version as well.
Okay.
It could be cool. It could be something nice. Care. Yeah. I mean, it's modern, and I bet it's basically going to be the Battlefield version of Call of Duty Warzone.
Yeah, there's no reason not to do it.
Yeah.
And it seems to be really big. It's a winning model at the minute. Yeah. So, yeah, okay.
And apparently it's going to have its own, like, cross-play thing with cross-generations and stuff like that, and have its own battle pass. That's the information that's come out. There's going to be a reveal early 2021 and then release late 2021, apparently.
I don't know how I feel about cross-generation. It makes sense, because if we're on the PS5, we want to be smashing people on the 360, not 360, Xbox One.
Yeah.
And PS4.
And also, we've only got 4.5 million PS5s.
Well, exactly,
out there.
right? But I feel like the hardware difference between next gen, it basically makes us PC gamers in terms of the rendering distance and quality and.
I get what you mean, but we console players are better than PC gamers.
Yeah, of course.
They're PC peasants for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amir the Synth Potato, for example, I see him playing Cyberpunk over there, just garbage, utter garbage. Every video he posts.
He has found a lot of bugs that.
He's playing on PC. He needs to play on something more powerful. Get yourself a PS5, man.
I think you should.
Jesus
the thing is,
Christ.
they are hard to find. So
that's true.
It's all he's got, poor guy.
Did you see that fucking tweet? I think I posted it today. Apparently, the scalpers.
I did see this.
They don't like all the bad press they're getting about being scalpers and scalping all the PS5s. And I just posted that GIF from Top Gear. Oh no. Anyway.
Yeah, frick 'em.
Cry me a fucking river, mate.
Big old crocodile too.
So you guys deserve it all. Anyway, Battlefield 6. I'm actually excited.
Okay.
I remember when we used to get really excited for Battlefield games.
Yeah.
And the
4 that we had a lot of fun on?
Battlefield 4 we had a ton of fun on.
Modern day, so.
That was when we got really into Battlefield 3 and then 4 came out and was like, oh, Levolution.
Yeah.
Do you remember that word?
That
they were
so
like,
good.
And watch this. Skyscraper falls down. This is Levolution.
That's right. That's right.
We was really excited for that and I missed those days. And I was speaking to Dave Bindis as well the other day, and he plays Battlefield 1 quite a lot still recently, and he really enjoys it. I was saying, I remember the days when I used to play multiplayer games, and I remember them so fondly. They're really good. I need to get back into some multiplayer games. I think that could be quite a fun one if it's good.
Battlefield 4 was set roughly modern day.
Yeah.
So it's a good time to set a shooter.
Yeah.
So I'm down to give it a shot for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Are we going to care about the Battle Royale? Do we care about Battle Royales? I don't really feel like I do.
No.
I mean, I like Apex and stuff, but I think all my fondest memories in general are us playing like TDM and Domination. Although, again, Battlefield is kind of like a 40-man Battle Royale, except you're not dead for real every time you die. You just get to respawn the whole time. I'm
going to say something that might be controversial, and you guys can tell me what it is. I don't think Battle Royale is as good as people say it is. I think Twitch says it's good, and therefore it must be good. I feel like the Twitch community are like, we say Battle Royale is good, Warzone is the shit, Fortnite is the shit, and then they just play it, and then everyone else says it's great because they might like the guy that's playing it. And I'm like, so the content is good or the game is good?
I think
it's a mass conspiracy. I think it's actually just shit. No one should play Battle Royale games. We should just go and play single player games.
Drink wine. Everybody's convinced that wine's good, but it tastes like crap. It's awful. It's awful. It doesn't taste good.
It's like, absinthe. Oh, I see people are no, that's not gonna work out. Not great.
I think it's actually
like mayonnaise. Awful.
How dare you? I think it's actually more similar to the type of gaming that you like. So you play stuff on Grounded and Crushing and stuff because when you finally get past the boss or whatever, that feeling of success is so good. And I think that's what these people are addicted to. Getting that win for the average gamer is so difficult, especially when it turns out all the Twitch guys aren't in skill match lobbies. That's why they're pulling 28 kills a game, because they're platinum players playing in silver lobbies. Seriously, take a look. I'm not joking. This is a thing.
Pub stomping, isn't it? Yeah.
But worse than pub stomping, because if you play a few pubs, you'll get put in with better players. Most of these guys don't. There's genuinely, because the best advertisement is the Twitch guys, so they make sure those guys get into lower tiered lobbies.
What's that guy's screen name? Ninja. I should put him
right, yeah. Like, there's a reason these dudes with like 8 KDs find themselves in these lobbies where everybody's a frickin' bot. It's because they're in a bronze or a wood lobby, and they're platinum or they're like a platinum or a diamond player. And so, of course, a guy with a 4 KD running around with 100 people that are walking around looking at their feet is gonna just stomp, isn't
Playing with our girlfriends, basically.
Right, exactly. But I think Battle Royale is kind of that version of stuff. Instead of setting the game to Crushing, it's playing it, and if you win, like, that's so much more difficult. It's so much rarer that finally, like, oh my god, that win's so good,
I could believe that adrenaline rush from getting your win, especially because if it's like a tight situation. Oh my god, last man standing type thing. I could get that.
Except normally they're all just camping kids.
Yes, yeah.
They're not getting the wins like the guys on Twitch get the wins, but
like me.
Right, exactly, like you. Yeah. No, 0 death runs.
0 death runs on all of my games, guys. If you want to check that out.
I pity you because obviously part of the game is there is a respawn mechanic. I don't think you've ever experienced one.
What's that?
It's where if you're not you. In a game, like a really difficult boss might like defeat you, for example, and then like you die, and the game has to like bring you back, kind of like skip time, like rewind the tape to when you meet the boss again, you start again and you try and beat them. But
doesn't sound anything. I've never experienced
you've never experienced it. It's actually a natural feature in the game, but
can't wrap my mind around it. I just can't.
But like what you do experience is all the things that aren't meant to be in there. Like, if you fall through the world, the game resets you. You've experienced all these glitches.
Yes.
It's that thing, but that function of resetting you when you interact with a glitch that you're not supposed to, it's if you were defeated, but you've never been defeated by an enemy.
I can't relate to that last bit right there.
It's a difficult concept for you.
That's unfortunate, that is right there. I got a few little things. Let me just quickly blitz through these. Apparently, Sony bought 9.3% of From Software's parent company. From Software, the guys who made Bloodborne, and they're also making Elden Ring right now.
Yeah.
And people on the internet have taken that to mean that Elden Ring is going to be a PS5 exclusive.
Hostile takeover.
Oh my god, they're doing it. Sony are buying Elden Ring. It's not happening, guys. It's
not happening. At 1.9%, it's not happening.
Right, like, that's it, guys. They've got the whole company, and they're going to please Sony now. Sony are just making a business buy. They're just putting their money somewhere to make some more money. And MLB The Show, a PlayStation Studios game, is now available on Xbox, which is interesting because now you'll see the PlayStation Studios logo on an Xbox console.
That's savage.
So funny to think, right? But they've been quite sporting about it on Twitter. They're like Phil Spencer's like, hey, congratulations on the launch on Xbox and whatnot. And they're like, oh, thank you so much. Good. Apparently it's been good. I do have to wonder about one thing.
Yeah.
This game came out now, which is like 4 or 5 months before the next gen consoles came out. And this game is coming out on Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
That means a PlayStation Studio had an Xbox Series X dev kit from before the Xbox Series X was announced.
Right.
Tell me in what world you would trust your enemy's studio with the box to your next gen console.
I'm going to say two things.
It's got to be really interesting. I mean, obviously it happened.
I'm going to say two things.
Yeah, go on.
The first thing, they're already set, right? The idea that once a dev kit's ready, that they're going to change, it's set in stone, basically.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't think it's that big of a deal. Plus, they can get their hands on an independent dev kit or something.
Yeah.
Secondly, I think you're giving Microsoft way too much credit. I don't think they know who they sent them out to. I think they just sent them out to the list. I'm not even joking. It's not a bit. I think they were just like, oh, Sony Santa Monica. Yeah, we'll send them
no
one.
Problem. Go ahead right there. Ah, Corey Borlaug.
Right.
So take him out there.
I think it sounds like a dev to me. Yeah. Give him two.
Give him two. Why not?
Right. Give him an S and an X.
I just like the idea that, like, because have you seen the Ben Affleck movie Paycheck?
I don't know.
Guys at home, have you seen the Ben Affleck? Great movie with the greatest actor, the greatest Batman ever.
Definitely the greatest Batman. I don't think I have.
So what it is essentially, I'll give you the brief cover notes of it. He's a guy, he's an engineer, specifically a reverse engineer.
Yeah.
And what he does, he gets hired to reverse engineer something or work on a project, and then immediately he gets his memory wiped of the project.
This rings a bell.
Yeah.
But I have nothing left, so you have to keep going.
So in the beginning part, what he does is that he walks into a mall and he gets a monitor that has almost like a 3D effect. Not 3D effect with glasses, but like a holographic projection comes out. But it's all CG, it's just for the movie. Yeah. And he buys one and he takes it back to his office, and the whole intro thing is like a montage of him breaking it apart. And he essentially reverse engineers it, is paid to copy it, but he actually makes it better.
Right.
And then the company that he works for sells that product that's better and essentially bankrupts that previous company.
Okay.
And this was what I was thinking. And this is what I was thinking with the Xbox Series X, that they went, like, PlayStation got the Xbox Series X into the into the PlayStation studio. And then they were like, hey, thank you, Mike. Thank you, Phil Spencer, for dropping that off. Yeah. No, we're going to make MLB the show for you.
Right.
Oh my God, we didn't think of this. We did. Let's reverse engineer, make it better. We'll do this.
Hold on. You in your world, it's Sony that pull apart the Xbox and go, oh wait, we didn't think about this. Really?
Okay, that's my only flaw in the plan right there. But that's what I was thinking. I was like, this is paycheck all over again.
That's pretty funny. I might have to check out this movie.
It's a decent enough movie. The second job after that one is the main crux of the story. But that intro sequence made me think of that. And I was like, hold on a second, what's going on? And it had to have been a crazy nervous moment handing over a dev kit to a PlayStation studio.
I don't know, man.
See ya.
I think if you're Xbox, you knew it was a bloodbath coming into it. Yeah. So I'm watching this trailer, by the way. So far, it's just the green screen, but hold on. Okay. I mean, it kind of sounds like oh God, what's the only movie where he goes to Mars? They remade it. Not Final Destiny.
Total Recall.
Total Recall. I don't know why I was thinking Final Destiny. 2 words. Yeah. Total Recall. It kind of sounds Total Recall-y, where he does a job and then gets his mind wiped. But oh man, I forgot how young Ben Affleck was at one point.
Oh yeah. There's a future element to it as well. Yeah. It's really quite cool. It's got
Minority Report vibes.
Yeah. That's the technology they work with is very Minority Report-ish. It feels like that. Anyway, that was a weird side tangent to go on right there. And finally, let's talk about Miranda's arse being removed from the Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Yeah.
Miranda's arse and also apparently Shepard's legs being open in one of the scenes apparently has been edited to like change the camera angle to not look like you're looking down his crotch. I don't know why that was a big thing, but apparently. But Miranda's arse has been taken out of it. Can you explain to everybody why that's a terrible thing and why gamers should be mad?
For one, like people simp, right? Yeah. She's a gorgeous character who you can romance, and she's bootylicious.
From what I hear, she's genetically engineered to be the perfect human.
She is a honeypot.
Yeah.
She works for, I want to say Cerberus, but I forget. As like, she is that. She's been genetically engineered to be the most beautiful, sexiest, smartest, most physically capable person, so that she can like infiltrate an organization and like basically like get her way to the top, get the top person, the person they need information from to give her information. She's Black Widow, except she deserves to be in the Avengers, right?
Burn on Black Widow, right?
But it's a Black Widow thing, right?
Yeah,
and that is what she is. And so I know there's going to be a million Ainsleys in the chat, but it actually is important to her character that she's sexy. It's literally part of the way she was made this way. She doesn't look the way she naturally would. She was probably a gorgeous woman to begin with, would have become one. But from a child on, she was engineered to be this thing. Like, it's actually important to her character that she looks this way. And I mentioned Jack as a romance, a female character called Jack. It's a bit weird. She doesn't look anything like that. And it makes sense because that Jack has a criminal background. So she looks totally different.
Yeah.
She looks entirely different. Like, not all of the all the romances in their own way are like, I guess, sexy or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you can see the appeal there, but the main reason that all of the romances take place is because you have these high stress situations that these people are in, and they're spending a lot of time together. Of course, something's going to develop. By the way, the single best romance in that whole game is Morden. Don't at me. He's the best character.
Everyone.
But he's not gay. You have to play FemShep. I'm pretty sure you have to play FemShep. My chosen romances are Tali or Liara, but Morden's my favourite character.
What would Geraldine think hearing you say all this stuff?
She's not an option, but I am. Did you see my tweet? I'm going to make my FemShep look like her with the afro.
You did say that.
I'm not even joking. If the character selection screen lets me, I'm making...
Monica Dambo.
I need to find her real name, but I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
You need to start a fan Twitter page of her and just like her appreciation Twitter page.
Yeah.
Just every now and again, like, just a reminder, she the finest thing on this planet.
Yeah. Damn, girl. Damn. But no, it really bugs me because the games were great. They were great for a reason. You're trying to stick to the source material. Stick to the source material.
Yeah, I don't know enough to know to say anything about this really. Some people were saying that it changing just some of those camera angles isn't too bad. She still looks the way she looks. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. But
they were kind of,
I would have thought that they just would have gone, we'd updated the controls and then leave it at that.
That's what you would hope.
Even Disney does the whole thing where like, this was a product of its time. They put the warning thing at the beginning and then that's it.
They were fan servicey shots, but we got fan servicey shots in Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Right? You get fan service where like, of course, the part of the reason these actors are who they are is not just the way they act, it's the way they look. And if they can, they'll get like some booty shots in there. They do it all the time.
We need it. It's crucial to the story that we get a booty shot in.
And that's the thing, it isn't crucial to the story, but it is, in this case, it is crucial to the character. I'm not saying we need to just, all the camera angles of Miranda walking should be focused on her booty.
Yeah.
But, like, it kind of bugs me. If it's subtle, I don't know, look, at the end of the day, it's a nice reward, isn't it? It's a good looking game. She's a good looking person.
Well, anyway, that's all of the topics that we have. I hope that isn't changed too much so we can get so I can at least get an idea of what the original game was like.
I want a mod Mass Effect to make all of the female characters Monica Dambo with the afro in the 70s thing. That's the mod I need. I'm finally buying a PC.
Could you imagine if the afro's so big it takes up the shot? It's just like I can't see Shepard's face. I can't see
Monica.
Sorry, I really can't see what's going on here. What's going on?
Right.
I'm going to kick it over to in a second as soon as I find the right page.
Yeah. Seamless. They'll never know. They'll never. We'll cut this out.
Kicking over to our Patreon where Real Kermit Cinema wrote and he goes, when do you think the PS5 will allow for SS storage update? Example, I think it means, for example, I have 3 games on my console and I cannot install it anymore. They must all be Call of Duty Warzone.
Right.
It's annoying and I hope they release the update sooner rather than later. And this is a good point. I recently tried to install some more games and I realized I had like 5 or 6 1-hour-long 4K videos that I'd recorded from Cyberpunk, and I was like, why don't I have any space? I got 1 game on here. And I was like, oh shit, okay, I realized why. But even then I put on there and it's like 5 games on there. It's not a lot. And it was a blunder that they released the console without the SSD storage available at the beginning.
Yeah.
But it's been months now.
Yeah.
We should have it. We should have it now.
I mean, we don't know what manufacturing looks like. We've just stopped paying attention to it. Manufacturing might still be a bit affected by this thing.
Well, the manufacturing, at least of the console, but they haven't even patched the ability for you to be able to use any SSDs with the built-in thing.
That's a problem.
They're like, I guess it was a security issue, but how many months do you need now? You're not making the console anymore. Well, you are making the console, but you're not engineering it. You're not working on it. So the only thing you're working on is this patch to make it work. Where is it, Sony? Where the hell is it?
Yeah, that would be a big deal. I think a little bit of me wants to give them like the benefit of the doubt and say that if it's a different SSD and you play a game from it, then they don't want their brand attached to this random like Netgear HD.
That was something I was always thinking about when they're like, they're going to have obviously a list of approved SSDs that will work simultaneously with the internal SSD and whatnot. And I was like, great, that's cool. And those are going to probably be stupid expensive.
They will be.
But inevitably, someone's going to be like, why do I need to pay that money? I can get this one for half the price and stuff like that. How does the system react to that? And I guess that's probably what's causing the problems.
Or if they put some like Chinese knockoff version of the SD in and it just bricks the console, and then they're going to say, well, I thought I could use any SD. Well, no, we had this approved list. Where do you find the approved list? Why can't I use anything?
That's probably the issue, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's something. I think that's probably it. Is also, look, if you use the wrong SSD and it's just slow, like do they want to say, like, here's our console, it runs like shit? No, they want to say, here's our console, it runs like a bat of hell.
This is the,
as long as you don't touch it.
This is the one one upside that I think that Microsoft have over the PlayStation console is that they made it this one memory card thing.
Yeah.
And you just buy that and that's it. There's no thinking about it. There's no that. Granted, that thing's expensive as hell and it always will be because it's proprietary. But at least it's very simple. It's just bang.
Yeah, you just plug it in. Yeah.
Go in. Just take it to your friend's house.
Yeah.
If you got any friends, you haven't because you're an Xbox player.
Yeah.
But and we're gamers. We
and no games.
Friends.
No friends or games to play.
Exactly. Yeah. Take it out. Oh, it's empty. Why did I take it? That was at least something cool, and it did remind me of the PS2 memory card days.
I was just about to say, I feel like this is us getting back to just memory discs, memory cards.
Fuck it, lads. Let's just go back to the PS2.
Let's go back to the PS2. It was the greatest console of all time anyway. So.
Exactly. Get rid of that nonsense PS5 nonsense over there. Let me just double check our Discord server for any questions we might have here.
Anything?
Diogo did write in about some gaming. He goes, in terms of gaming, I did Spider-Man Miles Morales on New Games Plus to get that platinum, beat it in just over 4 hours and wrapped up some side content later. Playing Final Fantasy VII Remake next week. Ugh.
In fairness, for anybody that hasn't played Miles Morales and I finished it in 4 hours. That is mainlining it. You know exactly where you're going. You don't go off the beaten path. You
skip every question.
You skip all the cutscenes and you blast through it. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, when you know what's happening, it's kind of goes really quickly. After having experienced Final Fantasy OG, wow, okay, he played.
He played the OG Final Fantasy VII. I'll be interested to see what he makes of the new ending because I haven't checked out Remake because it's not Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, and also Jas keeps talking about it, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, I know he's the king of bad takes, so I know that if he likes it, it's probably garbage.
Garbage. Crisis Core and Advent Children. Remake should be interesting to see in the new light. Okay,
yeah, I agree.
Right also, Sean. I've put a typo in his name and now he put that as his name, so now I don't know what his name is. So there we go. Sean, I think it was Sean. Yeah. He sent us. If you look at the link that he sent us in the podcast channel, he's seen a game here. It's a co-op puzzler which says "We Are Here." That's what it's called. Available February 23rd. And he goes, he would like to see us play this on stream together. I guess it requires cooperation, which means we will probably cry and never play.
What this sounds like is that bomb defusal game.
Oh, yeah.
Which is hilarious, and it's sure to ruin friendships. So I'm down.
It says it's free on PS Plus.
Yeah, I think we should probably check that out. What was the there was that game that they said you had to break out of a prison and it was co-op.
A Way Out.
I think we should have jammed that.
Yeah,
that would have been good, but I can't afford to play it now. I'm checking.
You're watching the trailer.
We Were Here. Is that what is this the right one?
Yeah, We Were Here. Yeah.
It just looks like a cartoon, slideshow so far. Never mind his gameplay looking footage.
Solve puzzles. It says. Oh, it's winner of a couple of awards. Not bad.
Solve the puzzles. I'm not really sure what this is about. I mean, I get we have to solve puzzles, but
there's an escape. It says plot your escape. Oh, there's a jester. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we can give it a shot. You know what I've never played is Among Us.
Yeah, so I think we can tell everybody the day as well. Remember we said about our second all-day stream and whatnot?
Yeah.
And we could play some Among Us on that day.
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
The 28th of February.
That's right.
Sunday the 28th of February. We'll be here again, guys, and we'll be doing essentially Conversations Day Part 2.
2.0, yeah.
2.0. We're just at 2. I think it was 2.0 already. 2.0, 2.1, I guess we'll call it.
Next one.
The next one, where we'll just be playing all kinds of games, and you guys can join us for that. I think it'll be a damn fun time.
It's going to be good, yeah. We should make an announcement on the Discord stuff.
We should do that. Any poo! I think that's all the questions that we have.
Yeah,
everyone's been writing in. Thank you guys so much for writing into this episode of the True Gamer Podcast.
Yes.
I think we might be under 2 hours this time.
Finally.
We had a bit of conversation underneath.
It's funny you said about something about the runtime earlier, how there's always news and you're trying to keep it short. Do you remember when this was supposed to be a short podcast, maybe an hour and a half?
Those days.
Right? What happened?
I was saying on Twitter, I was like,
there's
so much stuff.
Was meant to be 45 minutes an episode, and then episode 5 comes out.
We was like, oh, don't worry, the first episode, recapping 4 episodes. Of course it's going to be long.
Yeah.
But don't worry, episode 5, much shorter. Hour and 48.
There was so much to talk about.
It was literally the biggest episode. What are we supposed to do? Anyway, guys, thank you all for joining us for another episode of the True Gamer Podcast. Remember, you can get this on the youtube.com/conversations channel every Saturday. We hope to see you guys again next week. Check out all our links in the description. Head over to the 4 Pillars Network channel to see our new show Streamcast and all the stuff they do over there.
Should really pimp that early on.
Yeah, join our Discord server because it's the best place in the world to be, and it's filled with great gamers like ourselves over here. Well, not Diogo, obviously. And
all the podcasts and stuff from podcast services around the world.
Yeah, you should definitely go to those
and rate
those services.
Five
stars. Yeah, 5 stars on Apple. Nothing lower than that. Anything
5 stars or above.
yeah. Go higher than 5 stars. Anyway, bro. Thanks a lot for chatting gaming with me this week, and I'll catch you again next time.
I'll catch you some gaming.
Gamers out.
Are we really gonna go with gamers out?
Look, I'm so
logging
awkward.
off.
Logging off. No, wait. We would say
jacking off.
We have to use our gamer names, and then we say we're
fuck you guys, and then rage quit.
The editor.
I've never rage quit in my life, so I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, for sure.